What's up?
Damo, what it is, brother?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Tony Tone in the house.
You guys gonna say Boston in 7 yet?
Hey, Marz. Hey, listen. Okay, but I know you're looking at me crazy, but I'm just saying. I think that they delayed the inevitable last night. However, this thing could get real interesting Thursday. It could get real interesting Thursday. If Miami goes up there and Boston beats them, we have a serious issue and a real conversation, because now we're in a position where now they gotta go home. All the pressure, don't get me wrong, Marz. All the pressure is still on Boston. Every game that they play at this point is an elimination game. 100%. All the pressure is on them. However, this thing could get real interesting after Thursday. But if Boston is going to win this, if Miami is going to win this series, they better not play around with these dudes, because Jason Tatum and that Boston Celtics team has already proven we can win in this building facing elimination. And we've done it once. Marz, I studied history in college. One of the things I've learned as a historian is that if I did something once, odds are
Can do it again.
I can do it again. So if we came down here and beat you once, odds are we can beat you again. Add that to the fact that now you're in an even more precarious situation, because if you lose, now you got to come up to our building for game 7, and all the heat is on you. It's still on us, but now it's on you, and we got the momentum. I'm having a difficult time, Marz, believing that they could beat Boston. I mean, they could beat Miami 4 straight, but I just think that it could get real interesting after Thursday. That's all I have to say about that. If Miami was going to end this thing, they squandered a real opportunity yesterday. They did.
So JJ, you're a historian, right? Right? You study history?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Let me give you the only piece of history you need to know.
I already know what you're about to say, Tone. 150 teams have
no.
been down.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'll give
listening.
you something new. I'll give you something new. Every single year Kevin Love has been in the playoffs, he has gone to the finals.
Wow.
Put that on your mind.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been in the playoffs.
It doesn't matter how many times.
It does not matter. Every year he's been in the playoffs. He's been
Julius
in the NBA
Randle
finals.
sample size, man.
Yeah, that's my Julius Randle.
That is why Miami signed him, because much like Eli Manning and the Giants, anytime they go into the playoffs, they go to the Super Bowl.
I just feel like, shout out to Boston for not getting swept, and Adam Silver writing a beautiful script. He couldn't have both teams get swept. He had to have one team win. But all this really was, I don't know if it was Joe Mazzulla, I don't know if it was Jason Tatum, I don't know who it was. Somebody watched PC and heard Fluent say specifically, "Hey man, I need something to do when I go to this NBA restaurant Thursday. We need a game 6." And they said, "We got you, Fluent." That's all that was. They just want to make sure that's all it was, man. They just want to see Fluent happy on his birthday, good birthday gift for his birthday dinner, and they're going to get blown out by 62. That's really all we just need. They just wanted to give Fluent something to do so he could be happy, because he would have been a mad person Thursday with nothing to do at the NBA restaurant. That's all I think it was. Shout out to Boston for getting the win. Shout out to Boston going out there and fighting. Miami, you gotta handle your job Thursday, because I ain't gonna lie. I'm with Chill. Y'all lose Thursday, Celtics in 7. I'm not gonna lie to you. Celtics in 7. It's real nasty.
This thing gets really interesting.
Yo, was last night surprising though? Because I asked you guys yesterday, and I said, "Do you believe that the Celtics are gonna get swept?" And a lot of you guys, to my surprise, were like, "Yeah, it's over."
Casuals.
Like, don't see a team this good losing 4 straight, despite how they lost in the past, and despite their team morale. It's like, Chill, when you have a cat in a corner,
he's going to fight back. He's going to fight back. Yes, he is. He's going to fight back. Now, I will tell you this, Marz, in all honesty, and we talking about the game yesterday. So in 96, the Bulls got the Supersonics. They got them in the hole 3-0. And George Karl says to his crew, "This is a great opportunity for us to show what we made of." And I think that's what happened last night with that Celtic team. Yo, we ain't going out like this. That game 3 can't be the last impression that you saw of us. We can't go out like that. I think that they played for each other. I think that I don't think that they played for Missoula more than they played for each other. Now, offensively, Jaylen Brown has been egregious. Marz, he's 3 for 25 on the long ball.
That means he's due. That means he's due. That's what that means.
He's 3 for 25 on the long ball. But the Boston Celtics, we're talking about a team. We're talking about a team, Marz, in the Boston Celtics that is a long ball shooting team. Marz, they had 11 shots outside the paint and in under the 3-point line. 11. Everything is at the long ball line or at the rim. That's who they are. They live and they die by the 3. And if the 3 is working, they look great. But if it's not, they look egregious. So last night, they got some great minutes out of Grant Williams, who actually brought the fight. He's the one who brought the fight. If you look at the rest of them, they were just playing. Grant Williams was the one who brought the fight, who made it clear, I'm going to fight. Who's going to fight with me? Now, when you have a guy like that that's going to fight, you got guys who have no choice but to get behind him. Now, when you think about the Miami Heat, I don't think that they thought Boston was going to roll over, but they thought it was going to be easier than it was. Turns out this thing became a little bit more problematic. Now, I thought that Spo had a scheme where he was trying to get Jimmy Butler in mismatches with Robert Williams, and I thought that Boston did a good job at adjusting to that. And I didn't realize how good Robert Williams was as a perimeter lateral defender. Because you could be a good closeout defender, you could be a good shot challenger, but in terms of your lateral movement, because I mean, Joker, you watch Joker close out. Joker basically has to make like a U-turn on a car when he closes out, because he doesn't close out and just turn right back around. But Robert Williams, on the other hand, he does a great job in closing out. Not only closing out, he does a great job in staying within reach. So if he gets beat, he can recover. I thought he did a good job on Jimmy Butler last night with that. Add that to the fact that Derek White, I didn't know that Derek White led the league, led all guards. He led all guards in block shots. I thought that he was a better just on-ball defender. I didn't know that his ability to block shots and contest shots was that good. So I expect more out of him defensively. I do. Al Horford made some shots. They got their ass kicked on the backboard last night again, but Bam wasn't very good, and Bam has to be better. So this thing's going to get real interesting, Marz, come Thursday if Boston beats them. That's all I have to say about that.
Can I remind you of what I said yesterday? I just want to throw this out there. 1, Heat in 6. But what did I say yesterday? I said, do you guys really believe that the Heat can keep shooting threes at that clip every single game for an entire playoff? And everybody went, well. Well, guess what? 25% from 3 last night.
Garbage.
25. So those shots that were going in just didn't go in for them. So as great as Boston played, and they did a lot of things right, let's also point out the fact that a bunch of shots that were going in for Miami in the first 3 games did not go in yesterday. And that was my fear with this team, right? We had the Duncan Robinson's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time conversation. And I'm telling you, Miami can't be shooting 40% from 3 or 50% from 3 for a whole series. This type of game was bound to happen, and that's what happened.
Would that be attributed to the Boston Celtics defense in that one game? Because they've been egregious. Now, remember, guys, up until yesterday, they've given up 121 a game. Boston was a top 5 defense all year long. They gave up 121 a game. That's 10 more points than what they've been giving up the rest of the season, right? So last night, Duncan Robinson, 0 for 4 on the long ball. I thought Derek White did a great job in closing out on him. Not just him, making Duncan Robinson, making him put the ball on the floor. So, and we all know that he's not that. We all know that Duncan Robinson is not a guy who puts the ball on the floor. He's a catch and shoot guy. I thought they did a good job in chasing him off the long ball line. So is it fair, Tone, that was attributed to the Boston Celtics defense, or did the Heat just miss shots?
Yes. Like with everything, it was both. Like with everything, it was both. Right? The Celtics defense stepped up, made it harder for them to shoot. They're victims of, they're prisoners of the moment, right? Realizing, hey, we're about to sweep the Celtics. That made them, I think, a little bit tighter. Boston was making shots, which also now you put some more pressure on yourself to make shots because they're making shots. So I think that's basketball, right? It's never one thing. I think it's a combination of the 3. But yes, the catalyst for it was Boston playing much better defense than they've played this series.
Mm-hmm. I just like the fact. I like what Chill brought up about Grant Williams bringing the fight. Listen, throughout this series, throughout this playoff run, one thing I'm noticing is what I call Jimmy Butler different. He got that fight in him. A lot of guys don't have it, and something I've seen was people complaining about Grant Williams going at him when he did when they were up. Then it kind of fueled Jimmy, and then why would you poke the bear? I mean, what are you supposed to do with guys like that? Are you supposed to just roll over, not look him in the eye, look down like they're Michael Jordan? Like, I heard stories about guys that didn't want. Kevin Garnett talks about it. Oh, yeah, I was barking at it. They told me, hey, young pup, sit down. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bro, come on, man. Like, you got to go at these guys. You got to fight. And I'm glad Grant fought. You can look at the Celtics and just box score alone, you can tell the other guys came to play. You look on the Miami side, hey, their big three came to play. Jimmy, Gabe, Damian Vincent, and Cody, and the Martins went off the bench. They came to play, but no one else was really there. Bam was in foul trouble, but still 10-5 at a Bam ain't gonna get you anything. Kevin Love out there giving you 11 to 15 minutes with just 6 points. That's not gonna really get you much. It was just a bad game. I don't think that was an indictment how the rest of the series is gonna go. I still think, I have to see again. If this happens Thursday, I promise you, I am coming in here with a leprechaun hat and a cane and everything, all green. I'm all Boston for the rest of the series. I don't think that's gonna happen. I genuinely think Boston came out there. They just wanted to prove they can get one. They seen how the Lakers went out. They seen how Twitter was. They seen how we was on players. They see how everybody reacted when the Lakers got swept. And they said, you know what? I don't care what happens. I don't care if we don't like our coach. I don't care if we don't like how we're playing together. Hey, Jaylen Brown and JT looked at each other. I don't care if we don't really like each other. We ain't going out like that. So we're going to at least get one. I think that was I just want one fight. I don't think that's a
Dumbo. So you don't think that they believe that they can walk these dudes down?
I think Marcus Smart believes it. I think Marcus Smart believes it. I think probably that's it. The rest of them. So
you think really Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are texting each other like, yeah, man, we might get one more. We should just kind of start planning on.
I think
they know they're going to win. They know they're going to win. That's what they know.
I know for a fact that they.
Are you saying? Damo, are you saying Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are like KD when he said, hey, we're getting swept by Boston this year? They knew it. They're booking their trip to Cancun. Is that what you're suggesting?
I want to say after Jimmy Butler hit Al Horford with the, and they seen Al trying to fight. They went back. They went home. They was like, you know what? I heard Cancun is nice. I'll get the 5-star. I'll get the 5-star reservation. Let's make sure we just get one out. We're gonna make sure we do it after Fluent's birthday. We flying out Friday. We gonna be out Friday. We'll be back.
I'm just saying, Damo. I'm looking at this Boston crew.
No, Damo. I need game 6. It's Saturday, not Thursday.
Wait, game. Oh, that's game 5 Thursday. Oh, damn. Actually, I recant my statements. They're not making it to Saturday. I'm sorry. They're gonna try to make it. They're not making it. My bad. I got the numbers mixed up.
Yeah, Fluent, you got a dry birthday.
You don't have a dry birthday regardless. You don't have a dry birthday.
Damn. The thing is, Damo, is what I saw from Boston yesterday. I saw that fight. And once I see that fight, what you now suggested to me is you can do it.
Like they did say don't give them one. They did say don't give them one. They do want to have a little attitude. I feel
you could keep that fight up. And if you could keep that fight up, that means that you could stay in the game. Now, anything can happen after that. And I can say one thing and one thing only, Marz, and I'm just going to stand on this. This thing's got to end on Thursday. If it doesn't end on Thursday, it's going to get really, really interesting. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I've seen teams come back from 3-1 before. I've seen it many times in the last few seasons. So Boston are down 3-1. I've seen people come back from 3-1. I think they're going to do it. And then when they get to 3-2, I saw them come back from 3-2 last series. So I think they can do it. And then in the game 7, I saw Jason Tatum break the record. So I think he can do it. So the logic tells me Boston are going to come back. That's just basic.
So hold on.
So look.
Wait a minute. I just fucking woke up, so please stop. I just woke up, so please stop the cap. I don't feel like doing this right now. Number one, I know what Marz is doing. He don't even believe what he's saying. He's capping. He's trolling. Okay. Damo, are you on this train too?
No, I think I wanted the Heat to sweep the Celtics, but if they're not gonna sweep them, I mean, last game was cool. It might have been an anomaly. If they win the next game, it's up for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's up for the Heat. They win next game.
Listen. No team in NBA history has ever come back from 3-0.
No one's done it until someone does
ever
it.
Ever in my lifetime, never in Chilltown's lifetime. They were down 3-0. And what took them to beat us in this game? One, we had by far our worst performance in the series. They had by far their best performance in the series, making 23s. And it was a dogfight then for almost the whole game. So on our worst night, and their best night, it was still a dogfight until like the fourth quarter.
No, it wasn't. They outscored y'all by 18 they outscored y'all by 15 in the third quarter. So no, it wasn't.
The third quarter.
In the third quarter, they outscored y'all by 15. They smoked y'all. So no, they didn't. It wasn't the whole game.
They started pulling away in the third quarter, which is fine. Which
is the second half. The second half of the game, they smoked y'all.
Second half. My bad. I just woke up, so my bad.
Focus, dog. Focus, brother.
But it was still a close game until the second half. So listen, bro, we're gonna be able to pull away in the next game. Now, if we don't, I'm gonna be a little bit scared.
Blood pressure gonna go up a little bit, dog.
A little bit. But we should be able to send them home in 5.
Should be, but will y'all?
Now let me ask you this question, dog, because you guys have shot number one the Miami Heat throughout the season. I want to make sure we clear, dog, because Marz just gave me some logic. So throughout the season, the Miami Heat at the bottom of the league in 3-point percentage, at the bottom of the league in pace, at the bottom of the league in offense. What you've done throughout these playoffs is an anomaly. So can you get back to that? Or what we saw yesterday, is that who you guys really are?
I mean, for the regular season, sure. But I mean, for this postseason, I mean, they've been continuing the success for the whole entire postseason. So there's no reason for me to doubt that. The Knicks series, what happened in the Knicks series was more of Miami down to earth, but I mean, listen, bro, when a team against the Bucks, against the Celtics been performing like this, I mean, who am I to doubt that they can't continue this, you know? Mm-hmm. I still think it's phenomenal. I still don't even think that this is themselves, but hey, man, I mean, when they keep doing it, who am I to doubt them?
Dub, can't you say the same thing about the Celtics, though? So far this series that they haven't technically been themselves. Jaylen Brown hasn't. Jason Tatum hasn't. The team as a whole just hasn't.
Our defense. Our defense is just better. That's why they're not performing to their standards.
What up, Big Ox?
Last night it was a lot of us just like missing our shots, a lot of turnovers, which we had, which was uncharacteristic. It just seems like they was just out of it. I guess because they had a 3-0 lead, the gas pedal really wasn't there. But I'm telling you, bro, like the Celtics struggle is more because our defense has been showing them different looks. Joe Mazzulla, terrible coaching, just terrible.
Really?
He's playing 2K. He's the 2K god. He is the 2K god. His offense, if you go on a 2K right now, I guarantee you everybody runs the same exact offense. When I was playing 2K, I was running the same exact offense. The offense is just like 2K, bro. I swear. Anybody who plays the game could run the Boston Celtics offense right now, just like Joe Mazzulla. I promise you.
Can't run offense.
That's crazy. A 2K offense is going to make the NBA Finals. That's crazy.
That would be wild if that happens.
I respect that because we know it's Boston in 7. I mean, I don't need to talk too much. On Friday, I'll be back when it's 3-2, saying Boston in 7. And then Saturday will happen, and then it will be 3-3. And then on Monday, I'll be telling you Boston are going to win Game 7. And then I'll get all my apologies on the Tuesday. That's what's going to happen.
Nah, we'll see, man.
Can you imagine Boston goes all the way to 7 and then loses?
Oh, no. Hey, Damo.
Had teams come back.
That's happened 3 times, I think. I think that's happened 3 times.
I only know Portland, and then in the 50s, I think.
Dallas in 2003. They came back from being down 3-0 and lost in Game 7. I remember that. Mm-hmm. I do remember that. And I thought that series was over, but they ended up serving. They ended up getting back in the series. Van Exel was fantastic. I mean, not Van Exel. I mean, Portland was fantastic, and they got back in the series. But Dirk was just too much. Him and Steve Nash were just too much for those guys. And there's for Boston to get back in the series, like Marz is telling me, more than anything, them shooting the long ball the way that they shoot the long ball. I don't think that they have to shoot it like that, but they have to be consistent in shooting the long ball. That's number one. Number two, that fight has to be there because Miami is not going away. They're not going. We all know that, and Jimmy has those guys confident. You saw Jimmy Butler on the bench yesterday when they were down 17, smiling like, "Yo, don't worry about it. We got these dudes." So going up to Boston, they're still keeping that confidence. I mean, Kyle Lowry, he out rebounded. He had more offensive rebounds than their whole bench. He did. So stuff like it's stuff like that. effort that's got to continue with the Boston Celtics. Otherwise, this thing is over. This thing is over. So after Thursday, though, Marz, this thing could get real tricky.
Yeah, I don't need
Saturday
to
game
talk
6. I'm sticking to it. Saturday game.
When I'm correct.
Oh, Sunday. No, when is it?
I'll look like
Saturday.
And then
Saturday.
everyone will stop saying I make these terrible predictions. So
They're going back into Boston, and they are literally about to go on their home. The Heat are about to go on Boston's home floor and out tough them in front of their fans. They're about to go back. They're going to punch them in the mouth yet again. Jimmy's going to point and laugh at people. Jimmy's going to start talking because they got Jimmy hyped. Anytime I've seen Jimmy Butler smile on the bench, the next game has not been good for the other team. I do know that. That is a consistent fact. When Jimmy feels that confidence and he gets that thing going, it's not a good sight. So I do think Heat in 5 now.
But Damo, to push the series, because you might as well have gotten swept as opposed to pushing the series. Yeah, push the series back to your place, and not just the gentleman sweep. From what you're telling us, they're gonna walk on the out floor and they're gonna punch us right in the face in front of our home fans. Well, we could have done that in their building. What's the sense of coming back home? I think that there's going to be a different fight. I don't think there's going to be a different scheme because we all know who the Boston Celtics are. They're a long ball shooting team. They get to the rim. Now, what I do think that they did that we didn't talk about was they got Robert Williams involved in the offense with a lot of pick and dives and getting to the rim. Mm-hmm. I think that could be good for the Boston Celtics if they did that more. And I think that if Al Horford did that more, they could be more. They could be more successful. But the idea of them straight punching the Boston Celtics in the face on their home floor again, I'm having a difficult time with that one, Damo.
Oh my God, bro! What if it goes to 6? I'm gonna be so.
Can you handle it, Dub? Can you handle it?
Dub should have never left the Boston bandwagon. He wanted to overreact, and now here he is worried.
Hey, what is it? But what is it they say though? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
That's it.
Jimmy has showed you he's a bully. Like, believe that. Believe that. He don't care. He'll gladly bring it to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's front door. He's not waiting for them here. He'll pull up at the house.
Yeah. And one thing I found out about bullies.
Honestly, you think they're winning 3 games in Boston this series?
Come on. What are we talking about, Fluent?
You think? Wait. You really think they're winning?
Do I really think
they already won 2, Tone? Why can't
they? Yeah, and they ain't winning another one.
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand what's this big home court advantage thing. Like, I never understand.
I mean, Boston haven't been great on their home court in the playoffs.
I think they're 2 games under 500 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's about time that they start getting good. So
I need a game Saturday. We are all going to speak it into existence. Do you understand?
No, we're not.
Now, Ox, to your point, like you just said, Jimmy has proven that he's the bully. But one thing that I found out about bullies, when you punch a bully in the face, bullies cheese up. Because you know what they're banking on? They're banking on you cheesing up.
That might be the wrong word. That might be the wrong word. He's not a bully. He's not a bully. Maybe not a bully. He's just harder than everybody.
Yeah.
So he's so. I might use the wrong word.
Nice saying. I know that's a nice saying that parents tell their kids. If you stand up to a bully, they back down. No, sometimes the bully punches you back in the face even harder.
Even harder. Sometimes he
punches those aren't bullies. Because I can tell you firsthand information. Bullies the biggest punks on the planet. What they banking on is you cheesing up. Once you stand up to a bully and a bully punches you in the face and you punch him back and then he punches you in the face and then you punch him back, he gonna roll over. That's who bullies really are.
What is Jimmy Butler? You think you punch Jimmy Butler?
I don't think Jimmy Butler is a bully. No, I don't.
Yeah, a-hole. That's the difference. Some guys get dubbed a bully and they just a-holes.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy just you punch an a-hole in the face, he's gonna show you why he's
a-hole. There's a difference. Yes. Jimmy Butler is the guy. He's not a bully, but don't F with me. Because I'm not him.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I used the wrong word. I don't think Jimmy's a bully because he's not picking on the weak. He's picking on everybody.
Right. Yo, fellas.
He's the underdog.
He doesn't discriminate.
He's the underdog.
No, he doesn't.
Facts, Marz. No discrimination.
No, he does not. He bring a fight to anybody.
You come around here, it's bad.
Whoever wanted to get it.
Fluent, speaking of Underdog, in case you guys don't know, that is the proud sponsor of this show. But I have a question on behalf of Underdog. I want to ask you guys, who are the 5 best shooters in this series? I know it's a random question, I know, but who's the 5? We could just get, I think it's one guy that we could just get off the table because
Jason
according
Tatum,
to some people up here, he's the best, one of the best shooters.
Oh, Duncan Robinson's the best shooter of all time.
Yes, okay. All right.
Well, make sure we get Al Horford in there, Ron.
Well, I'm asking collectively because I need the 5 best shooters in this series.
Jason Tatum, Duncan Robinson,
Grant Williams. I know that sounds nuts.
Al Horford.
Do we think so? Is Grant in there?
As one of the best shooters?
Is Grant Williams a better shooter than Jaylen Brown?
MPJ?
In this series, Dub.
No, in the series, Dub.
Oh,
in the Miami Heat series.
Max Strus is better than him.
Okay, we'll go with Strus.
That's fair.
Max Strus is better.
Somebody said Al Horford better.
Are we asking 3-point shooting or shooting?
Are we saying who's shooting the best this series or who are the best shooters generally?
Caleb Martin. Well, Caleb Martin's better than
so Jaylen Brown is one of the best shooters in this series.
Caleb Martin is shooting better than Grant Williams too. So Caleb Martin.
I'd take Caleb Martin. So Jason Tatum, Duncan Robinson, Jaylen Brown,
talk about a dude
Caleb Martin, and then the fifth spot.
The Mike Muscala disrespect is crazy.
Who did you say shooting better than Grant Williams?
Caleb Martin.
He said Strus too.
Isn't Grant Williams shooting like 63 or 64% from 3?
I don't care.
Well, I'm just asking a question.
I don't care.
Every Heat fan I know hates Grant Williams, and it's hilarious.
Really?
That sounds like hate.
Who's better? It's not who's better. It's not whose shot is prettier. Who is shooting the best right now? And I
thought Marz just asked. He just thought it was overall shooting.
Overall shooting. Okay, my bad. I thought
we gave you enough names. I don't know.
Okay, so I was asking because we're gonna just do a long ball slip. Hey, in honor of my good friend up here, right there, we're gonna do a long ball slip where everybody is gonna go higher or lower on whatever it is. We'll do one collectively. Chat, you'll do one as well. I'm gonna put up a bunch of different polls. We'll ask for all of these guys and see if they'll go higher or lower.
Hold up. I just want to know: are y'all just ignoring me, or you just don't agree that Al Horford should be in that 5?
No, they just ignoring you. They ignoring you. Bro. That's what it was. The disrespect is crazy. I was going to say something.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
No, Dominican Dirk can be top 5. Dominican Dirk can be top 5.
Dirk is
Dominican Dirk is wild. Dominican Dirk.
He's Dominican Dirk. That's who he is. Just in this playoffs, he hasn't been hitting, but generally speaking.
I mean, I'm not sure that he's not on the list. I'm just curious to know, like, do y'all believe he's not a top 5 shooter, or you just don't mess with Al Horford? Because I see how you did Grant Williams, Dub. That was hate.
I would take Al Horford more than Grant Williams, 100%. I think Al Horford.
Again, if we're talking about production in this series, like he's what 40%?
No, I don't care. I don't care.
From 3, like he's not a top shooter in this series, which was
Dub. He showed us this last year, though. Remember, I was the Heat or the Bucks guy. You remember what he did to the Bucks last year? I tell you all the time
about Grant Williams, Ron. I don't like his game.
I'm with you. No,
his game is terrible. Every time he touches the ball, I cringe.
His game and his
Malcolm
Brogdon completely different.
Malcolm Brogdon should be a top 5 shooter in this series, but he's shooting 20% from 3. So,
Malcolm Brogdon.
All right, then Al Horford can't be here because he's shooting like 20.
That's my point. That's my point.
Malcolm Brogdon is probably top 5. I'm not gonna lie to you. Malcolm Brogdon is probably top 5. I just forgot.
I'm not pushing the line for Al Horford. I just wanted to make sure I put my bid in.
Every game, every time we talk about this series, all you bring up is Al Horford.
And Jaylen Brown can't be here either because he's shooting 12.
I never said Jaylen Brown's name.
3 for 3.
He folding like laundry. He's been around Jason Tatum too long. He need to get out of there.
3 for 25. It's crazy. It's crazy that Big Ox says stuff like that. He's folding like laundry. Ox is the dude that says, you know what, this chick, she's so ugly, but as soon as she get away from this dude, he dating her. That's who Ox is. Because that's what he want to do with Jaylen Brown.
If I see something in her, he just ain't bringing it out of her properly.
He's folding like laundry.
She need to come over here. I'll take care of that.
He folded like laundry, but let's get him to the Kings in the offseason.
Let's get him over here.
We folded like laundry too. Maybe together we could get out the hamper.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ron. You was paying some bills. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry.
Chat, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw that in, and we'll go ahead and get that whole thing going. But what I do want to talk about as of right now is Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about folding like laundry, this, that, and the third. He really didn't show up in the first 3 games, but he brought it last night. How y'all feeling about this?
That's what he does in the elimination games. When his team faces elimination, he shows up. And he has 3 more elimination games to go. He's going to show up every single time, and he's going to win those games. And then everyone's going to be, oh, Jason Tatum, top 5 player in the NBA. And I'm like, well, I told you he was going to win the series.
That's what drives you nuts about Jason Tatum. He's just as likely to put up that kind of game as a stinker.
Nah, he don't give you stinkers when it matters most, unless it's in the finals. But other than that,
unless it's in the
other than that, like he's consistent, so it's fine.
He finally been turning his brain off, Marz. Once he turns his brain off, it's over. I swear.
Hey, stop fighting that, B. That's a real thing. That is a real thing. Y'all dudes is wild for that, yo. That is a real thing. That is a real thing. Y'all dudes wild for that, man. Dudes,
it is a real thing. I do think it's a real thing.
Dudes just rock and they don't concern themselves. Jimmy Butler is a prime example of that. They just rock and they don't really just concern themselves with anything else that's going on. They just straight rock. And Jimmy Butler is one of them dudes. Joker is one of those dudes that I just play, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. And we've seen plenty of times when Jason Tatum, I mean, this is a pattern here. Like he'll play bad here, he'll play bad here, but all of a sudden, now we're at the $10,000 blackjack table. All the chips pushed to the front of the table. He's got 4 straight hands of blackjack. That's Jason Tatum. Meanwhile, the other 2 hands, he's losing all of his money. So Jason Tatum, we've seen him in elimination games. They play against Boston. He saves them in the fourth. They play against Philadelphia. He saves them in the fourth quarter. They go to Milwaukee in an elimination game, puts 46 on them, right? Game 7, puts 51. So we've seen him do this. This is not something that's an anomaly. This is a pattern here. So do I expect Jason Tatum to continue to do what he did yesterday? I'm not going to go that far, but I do expect him to play better than he did in the 3 previous games. I do expect him to play better than that.
I think he played all right in the first 2 games. It was the fourth quarters that were bad, but in general, I think he played all right. Game 3, he was bad, but the first couple games, I think he was like, I'm not going to say the only person who was good for Boston, but generally, I think he was pretty good. So I think it's a bit overstated how bad he was in this series because his team lost the first 2 games and he didn't score in the fourth quarters. Because going back to the Denver Lakers series, if the Lakers A, sustained their lead in game 2, and B, completed their comeback in game 1, we'd say Jokic didn't play well because he didn't score in the fourth quarters. But because they won, it was like, oh, Jokic was great. It doesn't matter that he didn't score in the fourth quarters. I think the opposite happened for Jason Tatum, where he didn't score in the fourth quarters and they lost. It was like, well, Jason Tatum didn't play well. I think he played pretty well. He just didn't score in the fourth quarters. So, but game 3, he was bad. But generally, I think he's been pretty good this series.
Dub, is that winning bias y'all talk about?
Yes.
Yes.
People forget the flaws that somebody had in the game, like Jason Tatum in game 6, right? I've heard multiple people try to discount whatever he did in the first 3 quarters just because of what happened in the fourth quarter. No, he still had a terrible game. He just had a good fourth quarter, which is fine. He showed up and when it mattered most, but you can't discount that whole entire game just because they won and he showed up in 5 or 6 minutes. No. But just because they won and everything, people they're just willing to just forget about the lows, and I don't like it when people do that.
Plus,
don't you guys always say, and I don't know if it's you, Dub, but I've heard this on this channel quite often. If you're not scoring, that doesn't mean you didn't have a bad game. Was he doing something else in the first 3 quarters and then just picked up the scoring in the fourth? Jokic, you bring up Jokic not scoring in the fourth. Well, did he need to score? Well, if they were up 10 and all he's doing is being a facilitator for other people in the fourth, then he doesn't need to score, right? There's other aspects to the game other than scoring. So I'm not saying one or the other. I don't even remember what game you're talking about. But have we looked?
That was wrong.
That was the LeBron James argument in like game 6 against the Pistons.
Right, like
Jokic. No, that's
Jokic,
not
again,
wrong.
I'll use Jokic as the example. If Jokic is being the primary ball handler and distributing in the fourth, and they're up 10, and he's getting other people off, well, I don't expect him to score. So if he doesn't score and they win, cool.
Yeah, but it's still based on if they win. If they lost, it would be, well, Jokic needed to score for them to win, but they won because Jamal Murray, especially in the second game, he closed. Jokic, I'm not going to say he had a great fourth quarter. It was a lot of dribble handoffs to Jamal Murray. I think he got a few assists. And game 1 was the Rui Hachimura matchup where Jokic actually struggled, got a couple turnovers late that were quite costly, missed a couple shots, but they still won that game. Right. And it was Jokic had 34, 21, whatever the stat line was. And it was like, oh, Jokic was great. But if they lost that game due to that adjustment, it would be Jokic folded down the stretch. He didn't score, blah, blah, blah. And then in the second game, if they lost, it'll be Jokic couldn't even help Jamal Murray when he was going crazy because he didn't score. But because they won, it was, well, Jokic didn't need to score. It's like,
well, I would counter that with this. So if you lose and what they needed you to do was score and you didn't do that as the best player on the team, then that's why they're putting that criticism on you now. Or, if you're that guy. If you're the fifth person off the bench, no one's talking about you. If you're the best player and you're needed to score to win the game and you don't, then there's going to be some rightful criticism.
Well, I agree. I'm not saying JT didn't deserve criticism, by the way. I'm just saying that the way he's talked about in the first couple of games is solely because they lost those games and the fourth.
And he's getting it worse because they lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And to Marz's point, wouldn't it be situational? Because if you look at what happened in game 2, I mean, Jamal Murray had it going. He had 22 points in the fourth quarter. So if he's got 22 points in the fourth quarter, I don't care who's on the floor. If Jordan's on the floor, James is on the floor. If you got another guy that's got it going, you go to the hot hand. So we can't look at Joker, even if they lost, and go, well, damn, Joker, you didn't do anything. He had a dude on his crew that went for almost 25 in a quarter. So if Joker's team loses, very much like Jason Tatum, now what happened? If they lose, unlike what Jason Tatum did, what we now do is we start to analyze what happened now with Joker. Because I'm watching now, well, Spo had a matchup zone that completely disrupted Jason Tatum's rhythm. Now that kind of stuff is going to be going on with Joker. Well, what happened? Why, if they lost, if the Lakers had beaten Denver? Well, what happened? The reason why is because the Hachimura adjustment. The reason why is because Joker didn't rebound, even though he had 18 rebounds or something like that. So then it'll get analyzed even more. It won't just be that Joker choked or anything like that.
My thing is, these two gentlemen spoke it much more eloquently than me. For me, Marz and Dub, it's just simple. Like, we won, so I don't care.
And I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
My thing is like, yo, we won. Let's go home, man. Fuck it, you know.
Question for you and Ron, the Jaylen Brown supporters. Why is it that when Jaylen Brown supporter, why is it when Jaylen Brown performs terribly, you guys are just so quiet about this?
Who's quiet? I know y'all heard me say just a couple moments ago.
Define when he plays terribly.
Well, no. I've said multiple times, like all week. I don't know, Dub, if he wasn't there, but I was definitely saying, like, I can't cut Jaylen Brown no slack. Like, he folded. He didn't play good. I said he was ducking Jimmy. I look at him the same way I was looking at Jason Tatum. Like, what you running from Jimmy now? I was under the impression that Jaylen Brown was the one guy that could get with Jimmy Butler, and now I'm kind of like, Jaylen, what's up? Like,
okay, what's it gonna take for Jaylen Brown to be a bum?
Oh, he's not a bum, bro. Bum is a lot more about mindset. Jaylen Brown's a killer, bro.
Tone, to answer your question, so the Boston Celtics are a long ball shooting team. Not only are they a long ball shooting team, Jaylen Brown is their second leading scorer. So scoring him in particular, they depend on him to score the basketball and shoot the three. And in the process of him shooting the three, he's shooting 3 for 25 on the long ball. So with him shooting 3 for 25 on the long ball, that matters to this crew in terms of them winning. So he's playing bad in that aspect.
So he's shooting poorly.
He's not a great ball handler either. I'm not even going to
but he's never been a good ball handler. Right?
So the only things we're really relying on him is shooting and
why is that handle not tighter, Dub? That handle should be tighter than what it is, man. This dude is in year 7. Like, why we keep talking about his ball handling like he's in year 2 and it's going to get better? He's in year 7. This is probably who this guy is.
Yeah, some guys just don't develop.
Today's generation, they don't know how to handle the pill. What can I tell you? They lack the skill.
I don't get it.
I mean,
you don't.
I don't think he ever will be a good ball handler. Some people just don't got it. Some people just don't got it.
He came in the league.
Yeah, he didn't come in as like a shot creator. He was a transition player. Like, watching him, I saw a few bits of college. That's why I was surprised he went number 3, because I didn't see this from him. He was more of a transition player, outlet, run the break, not really create anything in the half court, and then defensively he was pretty good on the ball. He developed into this sort of shot creator who could get his own bucket. And he's more of a one-on-one guy. But if you start crowding him and put multiple defenders on him, he's just not that type of guy. Like, there was a play yesterday. He got crowded near the baseline, near the sideline. He looked confused. He didn't know what was going on. He just tried to throw like a little pass to Marcus Smart, I think. And they ended up getting like a layup or something out of it. But Jaylen Brown, like, he fumbles the ball. He's dribbling the ball off people's feet. He has a lot of moves. Like, he can go between, behind the back, cross, all of this. But it's just not really tight or secure with it. So he has moves, but not a tight handle.
See, Marz, I think he should stop trying to do all that and keep it a little more basic. You know, follow Jimmy Butler's plan. But my other thing, I was talking to J-Rob about this last night. We tend, like, as you know, as critics of the game, we tend to want everybody to have everything in their game, and that's just not realistic. Like, I think a guy like Jaylen Brown, he'll probably never be a great ball handler, and it's just like, yo, that's just not
You
true.
want to know why, Bob?
And sure, if you know why,
Yeah,
I would love for you to tell me.
because
I want to be more
Jaylen-
fluent.
Because Jaylen Brown has little hands.
I was going to say it's because he has small hands. I was going to say because he has small hands.
Does he have short arms too?
The little hands logic doesn't work. No, the little hands.
I think that hurts him more with finishing at the rim than ball handling. But I do think he does have small hands.
With the exception of Kyrie Irving, who is now the best ball handler that I've ever seen. Before him, it was Kenny Anderson. He's the best ball handler that I've ever seen. Kenny Anderson has small hands. The nicest with the peel that I'd ever seen until Kyrie Irving showed
up. Do you think that's because, but they're also smaller, so they're lower to the ground as well. Size, though. Like if you're 6'8", your dribble, you usually have a higher dribble and you have small hands. So it's like it's probably less easy to keep the ball secure. But the exception to that to me would be Paul George, because Paul George has pretty small hands as well, and he's a very
there's always an exception. But I think back to the previous thing. I think Jaylen Brown came into the league as an athlete. Right. Like you guys said slasher, and you have to work on those skills. And when you're playing in the NBA, you don't have as much time to work on those kind of aspects of your game sometimes, because there's other things that are more important. Hey, we want you to shoot threes. We want you to be like you guys got a lot of moves.
Was like an off-ball guy, especially coming up.
Yeah, so it's what your team asks you to do, and then what you do in the offseason. I'm not saying he doesn't work in the offseason. He just let me try that again. He might not be working on that. Right, he might be working.
He might have just not plateau, but he probably just got to a certain point or got to where the Celtics wanted him to get from his development from a ball handling standpoint from his rookie year. Coming in as an off-ball player and not having any ball handling, they probably went to him and was just like, "All right, we want you to get to this level, just so we can start developing all these other things once you're at this level." And once he got there, you seen how efficient he was, see how great he was, see how his offense developed. Now you got him working on these other things. You're bringing these other guys around, and it's an afterthought. On top of that, I genuinely think it might be, and maybe it's a hot take. Some of these new age trainers, I see a lot of these NBA players critiquing these new age trainers. I see not too long ago, it was that video of this guy working with Jason Tatum, and I forgot what former pro it was. It was a guy that recently retired. He was like, "Man, you got these dudes working on moves they ain't never going to use in the game." It was like
ever.
And trainers do that with kids too. It's not just you got trainers that are charging parents hundreds of dollars a week for nothing. Just to be out there just throwing shit up, just nothing.
They're not teaching children. They're teaching kids to do yo-yo dribbles before they teach them to do dump off passes.
I'm telling you, Marz,
you don't know how to play basketball. You can do all these crazy.
These kids don't even do the mic and drill.
This kid tone blood pressure up. I'm telling y'all right now. This kid's tone blood pressure up.
No 2-ball dribbling, no mic and drill, none of it. None of the basics. No form.
Shout out to the GTA Mavericks who teach it the right way. But I was at a different camp, and the first thing they had the kids doing, and I'm talking kids that were aged 9 to 14, was, okay, here's what you're going to do. Between your legs, behind your back, hezzy, go. I'm like, dude, we don't know how to dribble straight into a layup.
In the fourth grade.
Behind your back, hezzy, go. Some kids that didn't even know what that even meant.
What the hell does that even mean?
What is a hezzy? Like, what is a behind?
Wait, when was that?
You're right.
When was that? Was this recently?
2 months ago.
Oh no! They know for a fact what a hezzy tween was. That's basketball.
No,
that's
I
their
get it.
lingo.
That's not what you should.
That's what they
first
know.
Thing you do.
Damo in the fourth grade.
Oh yeah. No. What I'm saying is because of what basketball culture is now, guys in the fourth grade, the young guys, they know dribbling as okay. Hezzy, tween. That's what they know.
Yeah, highlight culture has removed the fundamental aspects of learning the game.
But it's not right. I'm not defending it.
That's how you get kids like Jaylen Brown. That's how you get kids like Jaylen Brown that can't dribble coast to coast and get a layup through traffic. Right. Because
he did that a couple times.
I was about to say Jaylen Brown. All right, so I want to get down to the bottom of this whole Jaylen Brown thing.
They do all those moves. They get open and then they miss the layup because they don't know how to make a layup. Like you got to start.
I believe Rasheed Wallace coined that as a $10 million move and a $5 shot. I think that's what
$5 finish or something.
Mm-hmm. What you was about to say, Brown? I'm sorry.
I think we're overreacting to Jaylen Brown's handles. Yes, he does lose the ball at times, but Jaylen Brown is still a 20-point per game scorer. He still gets money in a lot of different ways. And on top of that, it's a lot of other dudes that we don't criticize that lose the ball as well, too, in certain situations. But
who don't we criticize?
Who? But Marz brought up Paul George having handles. Paul George loses the ball a lot. I've seen Paul George get ripped. I've seen Paul George lose the ball. I've seen him dribble off his foot. It happens with a lot of these guys.
His handle was a lot tighter, though. than Jaylen Brown's is.
Yeah,
and not only is Paul George's handle a lot tighter, he doesn't do a lot of extracurricular things that Jaylen Brown does, a lot of unnecessary things that Jaylen Brown does, which would explain why he gets ripped a lot, which explains why he turns the basketball over the way he does.
George is a lot more comfortable going to his left hand as well, but I mean,
people get on Paul George for his passing.
I'm not trying to turn this into a Paul George, Jaylen Brown thing.
Right.
I was more so trying to make a point of.
But the point doesn't make sense because we criticize everybody for that.
Hold up, though. I'm just saying, maybe Jaylen Brown just can't handle the ball
for a while.
Or Ron,
not a ball handler, like
or Ron to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's guys like LeBron who's been in the league for 20 years and his shot still hasn't quite came all the way around.
I mean,
maybe Jaylen Brown.
Criticize for a shot all the time.
No, for sure. I'm saying like that you can't criticize that, but I'm also saying that doesn't mean that his shot's ever going to get there. Maybe Jaylen Brown's handles will never get there because Fluent was saying that, well, maybe he just doesn't work on it, or maybe he needs to do this. Maybe he needs a new trainer. Maybe dude's working on his handles every day.
That's just the best it's going to get.
I agree. Everyone has a ceiling, but unfortunately, if this is his ceiling, it's going to be a weakness of his in his career. We're going to have to talk about it. The same way LeBron James outside shot is a weakness in his career. I know he worked on it.
I see that.
Has a ceiling.
I see that.
Jaylen Brown,
I don't think it's really that.
Yoga.
I don't. It could be. Maybe he just got to relax.
He can get lower
and just get loose. Get lower to the ground. Maybe he dribbles standing up straight. There's simple things like that. You're sitting there, just getting lower.
I don't think there's a ceiling on his handles if he actually wants to work on it and get better. If he genuinely if he sat there for this offseason and said, "Yo, I want to really come back and have a great handle of the ball," he could do that. He just doesn't want. I just think he doesn't want to.
Can he be as good as Kyrie, no matter how hard he works?
I mean, to be okay. Let me take it back. There's a ceiling. There's a ceiling.
Well, a lot of that has to do with creativity, though. Yeah. Kyrie Irving is just a little more creative.
Sure,
but he has a natural ball. You can tell he's had the ball in his hand since he was a kid. So there is a ceiling. I'm not gonna lie. Let me bring it back a little bit. There is a ceiling. I don't think Jaylen Brown's ceiling is where everyone thinks it is. I don't think his ceiling is right here. I genuinely think his ceiling could be up here if he wanted it to be. Let me say that. I misspoke. His ceiling could be higher if he wanted it to be higher. Right. I don't think he wants it to be that much higher, and I don't think the Celtics want him worrying about his ball handling solo for it to be that much higher, and that's the hindrance, which I don't even think is a hindrance. Like we said, he came in the league with no handle at all, and he's at where he's at now. That progression is great, in my opinion. I think he has a decent to good handle for a guy that came from where he came from. It's just once you have teams scheming, once you get put in these positions that you've never been in your life, you haven't been in this situation to handle the ball in these kind of pressure situations. Now you're being put in these situations, it's going to show. And now it's up to the coaching, to the training staff to decide after this offseason, win, lose, or draw, are we going to address this, or are we going to get somebody else in here to be able to hide this?
Well, the reason why people are being critical of his handle, number one, is because he's a huge part of their offense. Like, they run stuff for him. And in the process of them running stuff for him, with him turning the basketball over, it's glaring how weak his handle is, particularly his weak hand. Now, if you got a weak hand, that's on the scouting report. Well, push him to the left. If he's turning the basketball over, that could ultimately cost us games. That's why that handle has to get tighter. Now, on the flip side of that, we do have to accept the fact that at some point, this is who this guy is. At this point, he's in year 7. How much tighter is that handle going to get? How much better is it going to get? Has it improved? It has since he's shown up, but how much better is it going to get? Is he going to have a Scottie Pippen handle, right? Is he going to have a handle of Grant Hill? Is he going to have a handle like that? I don't think so. But is it going to be good enough for them to win games? Well, they've been in the Eastern Conference Championship 5 times in the last 7 years. They've been in the NBA Finals. So it's obvious that it's good enough for them to win games. So how much better is it going to get? That's still, I think we're already there, to be quite honest with you.
Why did we spend so long talking about Jaylen Brown handles? We got 1,700 people in the chat. Like the video, bro. We don't just talk about all the
his hands are around the same size as
big things. The big things in the basketball world. We also talk about.
Well, this is a big deal too, because again, this is a team that represented the Eastern Conference last year in the NBA Finals. Their second best player, he's got a weak handle. Tone in football. If you got the Cincinnati Bengals and T. Higgins, who's their second best receiver, if he can't catch, that's a problem.
You got the drops. It's a problem.
That's a problem. That's something that we need to talk about.
Facts.
Check out PC Gridiron tonight at 9. Wait, are we having a show tonight?
Yeah, we're having it.
Tonight at 9.
So that's where we at with that.
All right, fellas. Earlier I mentioned something about us doing a 3-point contest. Well, at this moment in time, Underdog doesn't yet have the 3-point stats for everybody. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna segue into a freestyle contest. Hero, you there? You present?
Wake
All
up,
right,
Hero.
cool. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. What we're gonna do is essentially come up with some things, and we're just gonna do it on the fly. So, Euro, let's go with some guys that we haven't really, worked with just yet. Let's go there. Let's find Caleb Martin. There we go. Guys, I'm gonna go around the room. I'm gonna just say higher or lower, and you tell me higher or lower. Caleb Martin, 12.5 points. Chill. What are you thinking? Game 5.
Higher.
He has been going crazy. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Mhm.
Dub,
He might be you guys'
agree?
second leading scorer in the series.
Dub, do you agree?
Yeah, bro. That dude has been playing wild, bro. Put higher.
Damo,
Yeah, I'll go higher.
Fluent.
Yeah, he's averaging like 18.5 for the series. I go higher.
All right. Higher it is. Unanimously. Chat. I'll be coming around to you guys next, and we'll see what you guys got.
It can't be unanimous if you didn't even
Yeah,
ask.
I didn't even get a vote.
Well, I mean, everybody else went higher, so it
That
doesn't make it
That's not what
unanimous.
unanimous
That's not
is.
unanimous.
Everybody
It
went high.
doesn't make
So
majority
we
rules.
We
Majority
always went
rules.
high. We all went
There we
high.
go.
So I guess you going higher too.
Majority
You too, big
sure,
odds.
but this is not democracy. This is not democracy. My vote
Facts,
still
Marz.
matters.
Facts. Like
My
this,
vote still matters.
This is
Wait.
dictatorship. Ron,
Mars and Bob, were y'all going
Mars and
lower
Bob.
or y'all going higher?
As far as I'm concerned, Miami are not.
Marz and Bob aren't up here anymore.
Wow.
All right, so let's keep scrolling. Let's keep it pushing.
It's a Ron dictatorship, bro.
It is.
See, now I know why everyone calls you an L host.
Ron is a tyrant. Can we be honest? Ron is 100% a tyrant.
W host.
Ron is a tyrant. 100%.
Malcolm Brogdon. You had him there. Derek. Malcolm, let's go to Malcolm. We'll get back to Derek. Bob and Marz. We'll start with you guys.
Thanks.
I'm on strike.
On what?
I'm on strike. It's crazy.
Those Brits have no nonsense tolerance.
Man, me and Marz are plotting our coup right now. We are not going for
Marz
this.
is calling his union rep as we speak.
You guys are calling corporate.
He's talking to Euro as we speak. He's HR.
Oh boy.
Higher or lower, Ox? Malcolm Brogdon, 9.5 points.
Thanks for asking, Mussolini. I think I will go Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is for 9.5. I'm gonna go higher for sure.
Marz, have you and Euro hash everything out?
No.
Got it.
No, he's Marz still on strike.
Gubbo, what you thinking? Higher or lower?
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon has been pretty disappointing this series. I'm going lower.
We got one higher, one lower. Fluent, what are you thinking?
Listen, the Celtics need to win this game to force game 6, so they're going to need a big game from Brogdon. I'm going higher. Back at home, too. Higher. He good.
Dub Zero, what's the word?
That boy. We get lower, bro.
So
Dub needs everybody. Dub
higher.
needs everybody on the Celtics lower because he need them out the playoffs.
Oh,
That's
hell
right.
yeah, bro.
He needs
That's a
everybody
biased
lower.
I am very shocked how Malcolm Brogdon is just playing terribly.
Well, the Heat are known for playing good defense on guards. So, I mean, and if it is one guard that's going to, one guard had to be affected. Derek White's been relatively more consistent than him. Marcus Smart is not known for his offense, but he's been relatively more consistent. So I'm not surprised Malcolm Brogdon took a hit, and he's coming off the bench for a reason.
Yeah,
at least in this series, Joe Mazzulla has him on the bench for a reason. I guess I don't know,
but 0 points, bro.
I expected more from him. I'm disappointed, but
I do agree with you. Our
Heat,
defense for guards are great, 100%.
So I'm not too mad at him. If it had to be somebody, I'm mad it had to be him, but it's somebody.
I got you. Yeah, he's going under.
You're the tiebreaker. Higher or lower, Malcolm Brogdon?
I think Malcolm Brogdon is due for a good game. I'm going to go higher.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Boo, Timmy. Yo, when I see that, I was literally crying, bro.
I never heard that from nobody else. I got that from John Anderson on Sports Center. He used to call Tim Duncan.
He took it from South Park.
Yeah.
Oh, they took it from South Park.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
South Park got a character that says Timmy all the time.
Timmy.
His only word.
I just heard. I don't watch South Park. That would explain why. So
I don't know how I held it together because when you did that, I was laughing, dying inside. I was dying.
All right, y'all. Last but certainly not least, we have Al Horford. Ox.
Can't hear you.
I don't care what the number is. He will keep on taking us up now. Higher.
All right, what we going to do is points and rebounds, 13.5, Al Horford.
Oh, whoa. Oh, points and rebounds? Oh, okay. I thought you said just rebounds. Points and rebounds? Yeah. I'm going higher for sure.
We got one higher. Chill. Higher, lower. Points and rebounds, Al Horford. 13.
I'm going higher on that. He shoots better at home. He plays better at home.
Dub.
What do you think, bro?
All right, we got two hires and one lower. Dubbo.
I'm gonna take the higher on that one. The points and rebounds, I go higher with that.
Okay. Fluent. Last but not least.
And then what's the number? 12?
13.5.
13.5.
13.5. Ouch. And he's averaging like 11.8 for the series. It's at home. I'm gonna go higher. He's good for one extra point than his average. Sure.
Marz, you have an input on Dominican Dirk? Going once?
No.
Going okay.
Fluent. That's points and rebounds. It's not just points.
Yeah. Points and rebounds. Points and rebounds combined, he's down one from what they're asking. So I'm saying he's
I got you.
an extra point.
Right.
Than what he's averaging. That's all he needs.
Appreciate your input too, Marz. We're making progress here, chat. We're making progress. I see discussions between him and Euro are going well. All right. As you guys can see right here, we have our 4 contests. And for those of you who don't know what Underdog is or what they do, it's something very simple. It's a way for you to get in on NBA action. Go ahead and make some money on the side of whatever it is you do. Underdog Fantasy has their pick'em game, which is what we're doing right now. All you have to do is choose 2 or more players, anywhere from 2 to 5. Fill out whether you want them to be higher or lower on whatever stats you want to choose from, and you can make up to 20 times your money. As you can see right here, we have the if you can see up there in the top right corner, we have the payout multiplier. We're at ×6 right now. Are you guys comfortable with ×6? You want to push it to ×10, or should we be good? Because I do see Grant Williams right there.
Push it, Ron. Push it, Ron.
Push it to the limit.
Yeah.
Push it to the limit.
Dub and dub only. Grant Williams, higher or lower?
Get the hell out of here. I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
be a realist.
He sucks. He sucks.
Well, there you have
Ron, you can't don't base our money on Dub's hatred.
You're right. All right, everybody but Dub. Chill. Higher or lower, Grant Williams, 7.5.
Higher.
Damo?
I'm gonna go higher. I believe in Grant. Go higher.
I don't believe in that broke ass shot.
7.5 points. Grant could do that, bro. He's good for 8 points. Bro.
All right. Fluent?
7.5 points. That's it. Grant Williams will go higher. But listen, I don't know if we've ever won one of these, but when we win this one, I want my cut, bro.
Facts. We might not look. I want to address this. We might not get it.
I also want my cut.
Because obviously Ron has went dictator on us. I want y'all all to read the book Animal Farm. You know what I'm saying? You'll get some more insight, you know what I'm saying, on the Bolshevik Revolution and Joseph Stalin and Lenin and whatnot. And you will see the dictator we're dealing with right now with Ron. Y'all go read that book. Animal Farm. Y'all read that book.
That is a definite read. Good for you.
Marz, you're not getting in on it either, by the way. You on strike. We don't deal with people on strike.
Yeah, you don't get paid.
Yeah, you left us hanging and wouldn't hit the picking lines, Ron.
You on strike.
Marz, what's up with that?
You on strike.
Haters gonna hate.
All right, Euro. Let's go ahead and turn this in.
I just read Euros.
Let's put 15 on it.
Pause, Euro.
15 gets us 150 in the payout. We're not going to do no insurance today. Hey, we're just gonna go for it. Chat, I'm gonna ask you these same questions, and you guys are gonna make your own contest, and we'll compare and contrast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. We got a few super chats. We're gonna go ahead and dive into those. See what's going on in the world of the super chats. Appreciate everybody for liking the video. If you haven't yet subscribed, do that. And if you haven't yet liked the video, please do that as well. All right, from the top, NBA Lonnie said, "Don't let us win another."
That's kind of the idea. That's kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to not let you win another one because they don't want this series to go any further. So yeah.
But I think Smart said, "Don't let us win one."
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the idea.
There we go.
I hate it when people say that to us. Like, we're not Miami, bro. So we can't control that, bro. My bad. I'm being a hater right now.
You are so a hater, yo. What is in that juice, yo? That hater aid that you drinking? Get off it.
I would say whenever I do just wake up, I'm very cranky. So that's probably what it is. I don't wake up on the right side of the bed ever. Not a morning person.
Cranky till he gets his morning warm milk.
Mm-hmm.
More milk. Ew.
Whatever you drink, tequila, whatever.
I tequila. I get in such a great mood after drinking. I would say that.
See, there you go.
You got to start waking up to a little Irish coffee, Dub. That's all.
Yeah, I used to do that before I used to go to work. Just take one real quick. Just
you're straight.
Go for the day.
You're straight.
Now go at lunch. Go grab some more, and then go for the day.
Right. We don't tell the whole world you're a closet alcoholic, bro. Let's just.
Yeah, we'll choose now to move on to Alan R. Super Chat. He said, "Yes, sir. Boston and 7. Marz knows ball. I'm running on pure delusion right now."
A lot of times, yo,
as you should.
Hey, what we do is we confuse genius with insane. So Marz might sound like a genius at the end of this series.
No, he's not. He's cursed. No, he's not. And Chilltown, everyone, you could join our.
Oh, you're gonna say I jinxed
in the Discord. Right, you could pay a fee. This man Marz literally said, "Oh yeah, Miami. I think Miami got this."
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said Miami were up maybe like 7 or 9 in like the third quarter, and I said Boston might not win this series. Jason Tatum then proceeded to not miss for the rest of the game. Yeah. So I mean, Boston, you're welcome.
As soon as he turned around and said Miami's probably going to win this series, guess what happened? Boston started.
I had to do my job as the guy who's never right. I had to just
you're cursed, bro.
Sway the series.
You're worse than Drake, bro. That's ridiculous.
Miami in 5.
Oh my god! Don't do that. Don't wish that on us.
Oscar Proud Jr. said ticket was cooking yesterday on the Rui to Lakers logic. On the Rui to Lakers logic. Unless Braun retires, this team not winning. So what is he there for? He knows not to rush Bronny, so get and try to win or bounce.
No, stop. We do not need a third star, bro.
LeBron needs another super team to be successful.
He doesn't. He was successful without a super team before. I don't understand the need people have to see LeBron James play with 3 superstars. I mean, have 3 superstars on the team to win. He doesn't need it. He needs 2 stars in depth. That's it.
1.
Yeah,
turning
2 stars including himself. That's what he said. Okay, 2 stars.
Him, another star in depth. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, you're not going to turn down Kyrie as a Lakers fan. What's wrong with you?
Yes, I am. I'm looking right in the camera and saying I'm turning down Kyrie as a Lakers fan.
Why?
We spoke.
I don't want him. Because if we get Kyrie, we're going to have to get 7 to 8 veteran minimum players, and I don't trust Rob Pelican to get reliable veteran players to put around these guys. We're going to get a bunch of Troy Browns and Malik Beasleys yet again. I'm not trusting it.
But Malik Beasley was a good pickup. Malik Beasley was a good pickup.
Everybody's a good pickup when you get rid of Westbrook, but in reality, he's not.
He didn't play in that series.
I was told he was a good pickup.
I was about to say, Marz, he didn't play in that series, just so you know.
Damo, here's the plan, buddy. So Bob is going to start dating Jeannie Buss. They are going to hire me as general manager. And don't worry, we'll make the Lakers roster.
Tone, what is the deal? First you running the Knicks, now you running the Lakers. Can you pick a crew and get with them? Okay, Tone, enough already.
The Knicks need my help more than anybody else. But if my Lakers are in need, I got to go help them first. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if your kid is drowning and my kid is drowning, I'm saving my kid first.
Of course.
Fluent, you're basing this all on if Ox can close the deal. And I've seen Ox
close the deal.
Miss wide open layups.
Is it kind of tricky? Hey, Ron, wait a minute, Ron.
You seen me miss wide open layups?
You've been on the crew, Ron.
Let's not do this, Ron. Let's not do this.
It doesn't get tricky, man.
Marz, remember how you were talking about Jared Vanderbilt catching alley-oops?
Does it get tricky, Ron?
I've seen him right there on the money. The pass right there on the money.
Does it get tricky? I'm just saying.
He's talking figurative layups. I'm talking real layups. Let's not talk about miss wide open layups, Ron.
Hey, with that being said, I didn't see Ox dunk on 7-footers too, so I don't know. It's just
so he can close the deal. So he can close the deal.
He can, but
okay,
I don't know.
Because from the tone of your voice, you make it sound like it could get tricky with him.
Hey, Fluent, I'm infiltrating the Lakers. You don't want that.
Sabotage. Oh, sabotage, man. He about to get in Genie ear. He about to be pillow talking like a nasty mug. Hey, you don't really need LeBron
you should trade AD to the Kings for nobody.
You don't need all them draft picks, Genie. Like, damn, all right.
That's fire. All right, so a super chat from Christ.
Lomo, you're completely wrong for not wanting Kyrie. By the way,
I'm not wrong for not wanting Kyrie.
Versus the alternative. You don't want Kyrie over D'Lo?
That's not.
They're out. They're out regardless.
Everyone is making it seem like those are the only two options we have. There is a third option that no one is talking about. Neither one of them. Neither.
No Kyrie Irving, no D'Angelo Russell.
Sign and trade D'Lo. That's all you have to do. Sign and trade D'Lo.
For who, bro?
For depth. I'm not asking for a star. Go get a bunch of role players. Who's
gonna send you a bunch of role players for D'Lo? Are you kidding me?
People send us a bunch of role players for dang on Russell Westbrook. If people send you a bunch of role players for Westbrook,
LeBron James,
you will get role players for D'Lo. I promise you.
The Clippers were desperate.
Who's playing point?
Who will play point? You can find somebody to play point. We won a championship with 15 minutes of freaking Rondo playing point. We can find somebody to play point.
Rondo's
nice. Rondo's nice.
We don't need another Lakers topic.
Rondo is also 45. But I'm just saying, you can find somebody. None of us are in the front office. We don't know the entire.
You're not even giving me an answer though.
Give me an answer. Because I'm not about to make a hypothetical and it's a guy that's not even going to be in the free agency. I'm not about to do that. I don't know.
Who are you going to
get? Or you can't get charged for tampering. Go ahead.
He don't know. He said he don't know.
He don't even know.
Who's the free agent. I don't know who's the free agent.
So you get Kyrie. No,
don't get Kyrie. Don't get,
bro.
You want me to say names? You want me to say F it?
Wait a minute.
Give me Chris Dunn. Give me Chris Dunn. My mic is my camera froze. Give me Chris Dunn.
The real KD.
I don't know. Give me Seth Curry. If you want me to just say names, I'll just say names.
Can we call Chris Dunn KD?
D'Lo and Seth Curry is probably going to be a 1-for-1. It's not going to be
the real KD
guys.
I just don't understand why y'all just discounting this dude. I mean, he just got on the crew 2 months ago. This Laker roster has not been together. He was averaging 15 a game and 5 assists before that series started. So can we actually get the and by the way, who's going to give the Lakers?
How many years do you need to watch of him to know that he's not that dude?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom, that he's not that dude. Well, what dude does he need to be exactly? Because remember, he did take that Brooklyn team to the playoffs in 2020.
And played egregiously in the playoffs.
He did play egregiously, 100%, but he did take that team to the playoffs, 100%. He did make the All-Star team. So what dude are you looking for? Are you looking for him to be the best player? Are you looking for him to be the second best player?
That can play defense in the West.
We look on him to be reliable, especially in the postseason. We don't need much from him. Make your damn shots.
Right.
He don't make the shots, especially in the postseason. So no, give me Kyrie.
I just want a point guard. I just need a point guard that can play defense. That's all I want. I don't care who it is. Give me a point guard that's going to play defense.
You got one already in Schroeder. He's not
staying. Is he staying?
No, he's done. No, he's done too. He's a free agent.
He's done. So we need a point guard that can play defense, a secondary playmaker behind LeBron James who can score, AD who can run the pick and roll with him. That's all I want. I don't need my point guard to be up there and be able to average 55 points. If we're keeping Austin Reeves, he could be a consistent role player. Every other day he's a number 3.
And you know who fulfills that? And you know who fulfills that? You know who fulfils everything you asking for?
And then you go get Kyrie.
If you guys just kept Alex Caruso, you wouldn't have these problems.
You're absolutely right.
I swear we wouldn't. We would be in a way better. We would have had Caruso and Reeves. Imagine.
Play defense. Here's the problem, guys. D'Angelo Russell, Lonnie Walker, Dennis Schroeder, Troy Brown, Austin Reeves, Tristan Thompson, Scottie Pippen Jr., all free agents. There's way too many people walking away, and they still don't have no money. If they let all these guys walk and I believe waive Malik Beasley, they only have, I know it sounds like a lot, but they only have 30 million, but they're losing 10 players. Like, there's a problem in LA.
A huge problem.
Colin
Yeah.
Cowherd
Gang
said trade
violence
AD
is a very
for
big problem in
Julius
LA.
Randle and RJ Barrett.
Oh my God.
Homelessness.
He said that?
Yeah,
He's also
someone sent me that, and obviously because I'm the biggest Julius Randle advocate, so
He's also-
Lakers do that.
He's also the same. Just so you know, he's also the same dude in 2015 that said LeBron James was over. He said that.
Yeah, Kyle Hurd.
Trade
And he
AD for
think-
Julius
he
Randle and
says-
RJ Barrett. That's a good
Now he
deal.
said he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He
What's
flip
wrong with
flops.
him?
He wants
You
class.
guys don't like that trade? Julius Randle was just all NBA.
That's
No,
a terrible
I don't
fit.
want Julius Randle back. No, I keep him. Keep him in New York. He's perfect there.
How do
He's
you guys
perfect
get
in New York.
their
All
shows?
NBA player right there.
How do you guys
All right,
get shows
Chitchat.
like that for so long?
Because they know people, man.
Nepotism.
No, a little nepotism never hurt. Hey, Damo. Hey,
Stop
Damo.
what
I just wanted to say something quick. It's a little off topic, but you called Rob Pelinka Rob Pelican. I was just wanting to throw it out there. That's not much of an insult. Pelicans are vicious creatures, vicious animals. You know what I'm saying? They are savages, man. They be in them swamps getting busy, fam.
I'm gonna call him everything but his last name because I don't respect that man. I promise you, I don't. I don't respect him.
Speaking of going off topic, has anyone checked in on Ja Morant?
Oh, I was about to bring that up. Oh man,
Because I'm putting this out there. I'm a big advocate for mental health. And when I see a guy who posts, "I love you, mom. I love you, dad. I love you, sis," bye. Dude, that's a suicide note if I've ever seen one. Please go check on Ja and make sure he doesn't do something stupid. Because
Ja.
I don't know if you saw that, man, but it's not that bad, Ja.
Hey man, big brain play, smoke and mirrors. Throw him off the scent. He seen LeBron do it. He said, "I'm about to do it too." I don't.
Okay.
It's smoke and mirrors, man. I don't.
Okay, I was just making sure.
That's what I think. I'm gonna think it's smoke and mirrors. I understand. Listen, mental health is extremely important. Everybody's mental health is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this situation and looking at what you've been through so far and seeing where you at now, I'm just gonna say this is looking like smoke and mirrors to throw people off the scent and get a little good grace from people so they don't go as hard on you because people been going hard on him and he's trying to bring that down. He's trying to change.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that versus the alternative. Okay.
Yes,
I'm okay.
I would much rather believe it's that he's trying to do a distraction versus he actually has something wrong with him. But at the same time, I don't know John Morant. I don't know if there is something truly wrong. I hope he gets help. I hope he's okay. But I'm not about to roll with the fact that, oh man, Ja is real. Nah. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a big brain play, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, playing. I don't know, Damo. Like playing around like that isn't much of a big brain play. That's not very intelligent for anybody to do things like that. And once again, we've learned coming up. I learned coming up through my 32 years that even a lot of people, there are people that play around like that, but it's always safer to take it serious because once they're gone, they can't come back. So you know what I'm saying. I think just in case, just to be sure, y'all make sure y'all say a prayer for Ja.
Yeah, you could, but I mean, I'm not worried about him doing anything. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I just put in. Hey, listen, I saw it this morning, and it's part of my platform is mental health. So
you know what? I did that to my family before in a group chat. I just text. I text. No, because
laughing, bro? That's not funny.
I'm about to tell you the story. Jesus Christ! Wait for a second. So out of nowhere, out of the blue, I'm working, and for some reason, I just feel like telling my family I love them. So I sit there. I say, "Yo, love you guys. Wish y'all the best. Appreciate having you guys here." Then they all start calling me.
Yeah, but you didn't. At the end, you didn't say bye.
Oh, I didn't say bye. You're right. You're right.
Okay, I love you. I love you. Bye. That was the part.
And the reason why they started calling you because they know you a jack off, and they're like, "What's wrong with you? You all right?"
I know, and that's right.
What's going on?
They call me like, "Yo, you good? You about to kill
me?"
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm
What's
like,
wrong with you? Are you all right?
And that's all I'm saying is for the people that know Ja, just give them a call, do a check-in. I used to love I'm Athlete when they first started, and they used to do their check-ins, right? Like go do your check-ins. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that shit is
a lot of people are saying that I'm L. Oh man, Damo, he's a troll. He's bugging. No, I'm not bugging. I know people. Everybody isn't just like there are people out here, and I'm just being real. I'm not. No, let's not sugarcoat stuff. There are people in this world who will use things for their advantage. There are people in this world, especially in the media, people in high positions that will use certain things for their image. It is nothing new. I'm not downplaying mental health. All I'm saying is for John Morant in this situation, it helps him if he tries to divert the attention for him being a thug to, okay, John needs help, and it's going to take the heat off of him. If y'all are saying, oh, that's cool, whatever, we're just going to live in cookie cutter land. I'm just saying, for me, I see what John Morant's doing as in his PR team probably had a talk. He talked to Adam Silver. His PR team talked to him and came up probably with a strategy of what he could do to clear up his image. Because in this situation, which Ox just said, oh, man, we just sat here and called him all types of idiots and dummies and all that, and we're gonna say, "Oh, he's not dumb enough to do that." Nah,
but you're saying his PR team strategy was to play around about suicide.
I'm saying
first of all, nobody said anything about suicide.
No one said that.
Oh, mental health. But that's a bad PR strategy.
Have we not seen people before use mental health to their advantage?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I saw what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
People do it all the time, Damo. All I'm saying is that we've learned throughout the years that still always take it serious though. Just it's better for us to take it serious
and be wrong.
I'd
rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong and then say something than find out that something else was really there and I didn't say something. That's fair. But Damo, two things can be right because Damo's point is point is also valid too. Should
we also check on Ticket?
We should check on.
What do you mean?
Check on Ticket. Y'all ain't see what happened with his channel.
I heard his site was down.
His channel was down.
His channel's down. Yeah, his channel's not there no more.
So free Ticket. I don't know. Free Ticket.
YouTube. I was seeing in the chat when we first started. Everybody was like, "Yo, free Ticket." I'm like, is he suspended again? And somebody said something about his channel. I look his channel up. It is not there. You look up Ticket TV. It's gone.
I'm not too hip to YouTube. Is that something like he could like take it off and be fixing something?
For the way that it happened, it looks like if I had to guess,
it says channel not available. That looks like he got banned or something. I don't know.
He probably got probably people went back.
I wonder why
on the channel. I don't know.
I think what happened is
people's probably hating on the stuff when he hit 100K. People start hating. Went back
honestly, I think that's what it is. I think what happened. YouTube started revisiting his content because he hit 100K, and they're like, "Whoa, this dude is a wild man."
He probably.
Did you call corporate Marz?
I'll talk to Ticket this morning. Ticket is cool. He's not here today because he's dealing with some other things, not related to YouTube, but he should be here in the next couple of days. We'll talk to Ticket, and push come to shove, we're gonna get Ticket back right. No ifs, ands, or buts. We gonna get him back right.
Yeah,
I also want to say,
LeBron.
in terms of John Morant, we rooting for you, we praying for you, we hope for the best. Job bounce back as soon as possible and get back to better than what you were at. The league needs you. We need you in a good place. We need you healthy. You're a dub for the future.
I think you guys are overthinking this drama right
now.
Marz,
hey, Marz, I'm saying whether I think we're overthinking it
Marz,
too.
let it go. Look,
I think we're overthinking it too, but whether it is what it is or whether it is what it ain't, I'm still praying for the best for young John Morant. No ifs, ands, or buts. But to move on to the next super chat, we got a super chat from Christ. He said, "Don't let Fluent off the hook on the Jokic hate." LOL.
Yes, thank you. Yes, actually, yes. And I actually talked about this yesterday.
We got him, chat.
Fluent, you disappointed me so much.
We got him in 4K.
What was it? You was talking about Jokic and saying, "Oh yeah, he conserves so much energy on defense, which makes him to be able to play this way on an offensive level." Like, can you just be real and just be like, "Nah, that was cap." And I really wasn't watching him like that because he always gave effort, even when even when he's a bad defender, he always gives effort.
Besides those 4 games where he didn't give effort.
Or the game.
There's always that caveat. Besides those 5 games where he didn't. So
it was you said it. You said it before those 5 games.
No, I didn't.
No, he said it during those 4 games. He said, "I've been focusing on Jokic extra hard during
on what he does on defense because I'm under the impression that he's a little bit lazy on defense." And so I watched a bunch of games where I only focused on him. Then I went and watched him in person, sat right in the front and watched him specifically. And I said, you know what? He looks like he's taking plays off. Now, does that mean he does it every single game all the time? No. Does that mean that it's in the middle of the season and like most players, they go through the dog days and they don't try as hard? Maybe. And does that mean that he couldn't have stepped up in the playoffs? No, it doesn't mean. All of the things I said are true, just like we keep saying. More than one thing can be true at the same time. So what I'm saying is, and maybe this is good, during the regular season, he doesn't give as much effort on defense. And if he stepped it up in the playoffs, good for him. But every time I bring up that stretch when I was doing this, except for those 5 games. That was the worst 5 games that, Denver played defensively the whole season. Okay, well, coincidentally, those 5 games in a row happened to be the worst 5 games.
And again, you said
did
this.
he step up in the playoffs, and I said this.
And again,
when you brought it up, I said, "Hey,
again,
better."
Again, you said this before. You said this before you even talked about that. You brought that as a point, and then after that, you arguing with Lowe. That's when you started watching him more, and then that's really when you said it. You said this far before, and throughout the whole entirety of the season,
which is why I
wasn't doing that.
And
then you checked on the game.
It was true.
But why did you? All I'm saying is, then that goes to show me that you just wasn't watching him throughout the whole entire season.
I focused on him on defense off ball during the season? No, that wasn't my main focus when I was watching Denver play. Nor should it be.
Man.
Should it be. Should it be.
It should be. It should be.
It should.
I
bet you got accurate games than you have this season, and I focused on something because I wanted to see if I was right or wrong about my idea.
And maybe. But guess who was right more, me or you? It's probably me.
No, you're not right because you were wrong because you didn't even go and check. I went and checked.
I do. I mean, I watch him. I never made a claim that he doesn't give effort. Like I never did that.
I said I don't think he does, and then I went and checked and proved myself right. Now, did he change? Sure. So anybody can change. So now
you're basically admitting you wasn't watching him in the beginning. That's basically
yes, I was. I wasn't watching him as closely defensively, and then I focused on his defense and proved that my hypothesis was correct.
So 5 games is enough evidence.
You also said without the ball on offense, he doesn't do anything either.
No, I said no. I didn't say he doesn't do anything. I said
you said he doesn't move around. That's
he
what
looks lazy. That's why you shouldn't trust your eye test either. He looks lazy. Yeah.
He doesn't look lazy though. Like
that was another bad person.
That's see. Chat.
Hey, Dub, you said Jokic doesn't have aura in person as well. You guys have both made terrible takes about Jokic based on seeing them in person.
You did say he didn't say aura. Yeah. You said
I was trolling.
You sleep when you want.
Okay.
I was trolling. I would say I was
trolling.
That one right there, I was trolling because I couldn't find any other points to push at. I was like, all right, let me say this right here.
You said he puts me to sleep. Yeah. So it's the only guy who actually.
I never said put. I never said put me to sleep. But like I said,
you said you fell asleep. Don't make me go find the clip because you said he
fell asleep.
Yes.
Go find it. I never
Dub, you're getting cooked again by Fluent. That's tough.
It's not cooked. I never said that. I'll send it to you. Go ahead. Go send it to me. I would love to see it.
I'll have it ready for tomorrow's show. Roll up.
Go ahead.
All right, y'all. Moving along. Got another super chat from Percocet. He said, I believe that if Boston wins game 5, the Heat's chances of winning drops dramatically. The total momentum shift will be enough to awaken Tatum and ultimately Jaylen Brown. Miami needs to end this now.
That's fair. I think this thing gets. I think it gets really interesting if they win Game 5. Marz said Celtics in 7. I was fighting them. They were down. They was down 3-0. Now it's 3-1. If they're going to end this series, they have to do it now because this thing just gets really interesting. Because now like he just mentioned, you build the momentum, and the last thing you want is to give a team that's down, give them hope. And if they win game 5, they now thinking, if we can win game 6, we back in our building in game 7. So all I know, Marz, is that this thing gets real interesting if they win on Thursday.
All I know is you're starting to think I might be right. That's all.
To be honest with you, Marz, and I'm gonna be. And whenever I have a conversation with you, Marz, to be honest with you, I'm 100% honest with you. But from what I'm seeing right now, they got to win. Miami got to win on Monday. I'm sorry, on Thursday, because if they don't, I'm starting to get sucked into that logic. I am.
I saw it happening. I saw it. Don't worry.
He's tricking you with the tea and crumpets. Don't fall for it.
No, we've seen teams build momentum and watching other teams crumble in the process of another team building momentum. And if they would have beat these dudes on Thursday, you have to think that.
No, you don't have to think anything.
Yes, you would have to think that if them winning 2 straight games, especially in the fashion that they win, like they handled Miami last night on their home floor. If they handle them again tomorrow night, the momentum has clearly shifted. Clearly. And
If
with
the-
that being said,
Saturday, and then on Saturday it shifts right back to Miami.
If the series goes 7 games, who do you guys have winning game 7?
I'm taking Boston in 7.
Miami.
If Boston is in game 7 on their home floor, Miami is not beating them again.
Why
Miami,
do we always do this? Why do we always do this?
Do what?
Yeah, we're overreacting and they're gonna lose in game 5, but I'm still gonna stick to Boston.
Like,
maybe that's true. Maybe that's true, Marz.
Miami
This series might be over Thursday, but if it's not,
I feel like every time we have this conversation, whenever a team is up 3-1 or 3-0, and then the team wins the next game after being down that much, it's like we all talk about, oh, if they can do this, oh, if they can do that. Like we do it with everyone. It's just weird to me.
We didn't do that when the Timberwolves beat Denver in round 1.
We did not do that. Nobody said Minnesota in 7. Nobody said that.
But no, here's
Majority
of times, and that's nasty because you know majority of times that's what people do. That's nasty.
The difference though is that, I mean, bro, Boston is a better team. That's the difference. The difference
Miami
is
is an
before this, everybody had Boston slated to win. Before this, Boston was a number 2 seed. Before this,
Did everybody have Boston winning this series?
Bob didn't. Bob had Miami.
I
think everyone else had Boston.
Who did you have winning this series?
Miami in 6.
Oh,
I had Boston handling them in 5. I did.
And I know Dub beat Miami.
No, Dub had Boston. He changed up after game 1.
After one game, I said, "Oh no, Miami's taking."
You're not a real fan. You're not a real.
Me and Fluent were the only ones that had Miami. Me and Fluent were the only ones that had Miami.
Dub, you're kind of a front runner, yo. You are, yo. You're kind of a front runner, dog.
Not kind of, big time front runner.
This is what.
Here's what's going to happen in a month. He'll come back. Even though I said Miami in 6, I'm always right. I picked Miami. No, you didn't. You picked Boston, and then you flipped.
What are you talking about? No, what are you talking about?
I stay taking credit.
Time out. Because now
clean it up, dog.
Now y'all being nasty as fuck.
Okay, dog. Clean it up. Okay, dog. Clean it up.
I said time and time again, and I will always say, I said that Miami was gonna lose to Boston. I've never once capped about that. I've said that numerous times.
So you're picking Boston.
Then I said after game 1, I just completely did a complete 180 because I was like, nah, this Miami unit is that much better than them after one game. I've been consistent with that train of thought every time.
Then after game 2,
I said Miami. I still said Miami.
So you flip-flopped.
It's not. No, it's not.
Like how you tried to take credit for Miami beating the Bucks because you said they could beat them, even though you picked the Bucks.
Hold on.
This the fence right here. This where he at.
I just want to be clear. You picked Boston.
This where he at. He ain't
Exactly.
You know
He dances along the fence. He dances.
You know what gets me upset? Last season when I was caping for Miami Heat. The whole entire year that we was going to go to the finals. The whole entire year that we was the best team in the East. Oh, you're such a biased Heat fan. So now when I'm being realistic about the team, I was being realistic last year. They were that good. They went to game 7 to the Eastern Conference Finals while being hurt. So I was right about that, number 1.
Correct.
Then this season,
you had them go to the finals. You was wrong. Once again, stop taking credit when
they were hurt. They were hurt.
You had them go into the finals. They didn't make it, and you said you were right. No, you were wrong.
We lost because we were hurt. Shut up,
That's
Marz.
fine, but you knew you were hurt before the series, and you still had them winning. You were wrong.
No. I wasn't confident in us winning when we.
You had them going to the
finals.
I had them going to the finals in the beginning of the year, Marz,
and they didn't.
And when they got hurt, I saw it switch my opinion. What are you
they had wrong.
So you switched. Okay, you was wrong.
Dub. One question. I just have one question. I just have a question. You picked Boston. And then when Miami won the first game, you're like, oh, forget this. It's Miami, right? That's just confirming
that's what I said. Yes.
If Boston had won the first game, would you have stuck with Boston for the whole series?
Oh, yes.
So even if Miami wins game 2 and 3, you wouldn't have flipped.
Game 2 and 3, I might have flipped.
He's a flip flop.
Might have flipped.
It's a flip flop.
It depends.
Steady switching up.
I probably would have stayed true with the Boston Celtics. I'm not even gonna hold you.
The whole year, Dub was caping for Boston. Boston lose one game to Miami, and Miami's winning the series.
I would have stayed true with Boston if they would have won one game out of these 3 games. Game one. It's just after game 1, the way Miami was just dealing them, I was like, nah, there's no way that this unit's not gonna beat Boston Celtics. So then that's when I switched. I'm not even gonna hold you. But now I lost. Shut the fuck up. It's not flip flopping, bro.
It's 100%. That's 100% what it is.
When new evidence presents itself, like injuries, right? Injuries happen against Miami Heat series, which made me change my opinion a bit. But when new evidence presents itself, it causes people to change their fucking opinion.
Exactly.
Correct, Marz? That's what.
You change your opinion. You flip.
I changed my opinion when the evidence supported it, and then what happened? They still going on.
You flip flopped.
So I can change my opinion.
And the thing is, you can change your opinion. I have no problem. The issue is when you start taking credit for being right. When you picked Miami to go to the finals, they didn't make it, and you said you were right. You wasn't right. You was wrong.
Marz. Take a second to sit down for a second. I never took credit. I never took credit for Miami beating the Boston Celtics.
2 minutes ago, you said I had Miami going to the finals last year. Everyone called me a biased Heat fan, and I was right. No, you wasn't. They didn't go to the finals.
Oh yeah, because
you tried to take credit.
No. Listen, Marz, because everyone was calling me a biased Heat fan, right? A biased Heat fan, but a team who got hurt in the freaking Eastern Conference Finals. What happened? They still went to Game 7 with the Boston Celtics, showing me that if they were healthy, they probably would have made it to the finals, Marz. So
it's fine to be a flip flopper. It's fine. Just denying it is weird. Denying it is weird.
Even on that clip.
And the thing is, you know that I got my card out. The thing is, you know I'm not a flip flopper. You know damn well I'm not a flip flopper. And the way that you're doing this right now, because we've been on the show for damn near.
Yeah, I saw you caping for Boston the whole year, and look at you now in Miami. Flip flop.
Even on that clip, it was on YouTube, it was either YouTube or Instagram clip. Even on the clip, y'all try to act like Dub was taking Miami, and it was literally me on the clip saying y'all could pull this off. It wasn't Dub.
Dub was in a car saying maybe we can go 7.
Only two people were me and Ox. That's correct.
Yeah, I'm taking credit for saying Miami was the best fit for the Bucks. I'm taking credit for that 100%.
You flip teams like I changed draws.
No, I haven't. You keep talking about Miami when that's my favorite team. When have I switched teams like that? Seriously, when have I flip flopped? Because you just named my favorite team.
No, that's a fact though, Dub. Last year, because me and you were both on my. Well, you're a Miami Heat fan, so I expect that from you. But last year I was with you in Miami. I can stick with you on that. Last year,
okay, I've been riding. Apart from my favorite team, who else have I been flip flopping with? According to you,
the Celtics, you was pushing the Celtics line this year, and then
I still think the Celtics are better than the Nuggets if they go to the finals. I just think Miami's just better. It's not flip flopping. I still think they're that good of a team. So y'all tell me who? No, Marz. Give me clear examples of when I've been flip flopping for a team. Besides
for a team.
This year, Dub, you went to Miami after that.
I don't flip flop on teams, bro. Come on, cut it out. And you know this.
Other than Miami,
that's my favorite team, Marz.
But you have,
and even that, it's not even flip flop.
So it is biased. So when they did call you a biased Heat fan, it was.
Last season.
You just said you flip flop with Miami because they're your favorite team, but then you want to get angry when people call you a biased Heat fan. Okay, Dub. I'm okay.
Superchats. Go ahead, Ron.
Are you guys good? Did you guys hash it all? Is everything hashed out?
Yeah, Dub.
I gave you guys your time.
Marz is being childish, bro.
Y'all got open court.
I'm a child. What'd you expect?
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Dub, y'all got open court. Y'all got open court today, Dub?
Nah, not today.
Open court might be divorce court. But moving along, Ahmad Aldhari said, I'm a big fan of the show. Been watching for over a year. Fan of everybody's takes, especially Marz, Dub, Chill, Fluent, and Bobby, because I'm a Kings fan. LOL.
That's what's up. Word. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
Good that you started with me first. Good that you started with me first, Dubby.
Damn, where you at now?
Oh.
I'm at home.
Yo, Ahmed, you're a Kings fan. I'm happy for you. You guys have officially came out of poverty, so congratulations.
Yeah.
You don't believe that, Marz?
Yeah.
Marz,
why do you never get through these super chats, Ron?
He did yesterday, Fluent.
I know.
Yeah, when half the panel left, he got through.
What are we doing? What that one that you just
said? This ain't open gym, what is it? Open court?
Open court.
Gym,
yeah, open court.
Not full gym therapy. Super chats.
I gotta let my mans, I gotta let them work through what they're going through right now.
Marz just being childish.
Well, I see we didn't get anywhere. Jersey Love said, as I told Chill on his show, Game 2, Grant, look back. Like y'all ducking, not me.
Like his team was ducking the smoke, but he wasn't. Like
he did say that last night on my live that Grant was the only one that was with the drama. The rest of them dudes act like they weren't, and Grant was the only one who was ready to stand up and fight. That is true.
He predicted that Grant Williams was going to show up tonight. Nobody
and
else would.
He did. Not necessarily show up, but more like he was with the fight.
Okay. Satsui said, we gonna forget these dudes quit Game 3 and are 500 at home?
No, we're not gonna forget that. That's why I said if they win, this thing could get real interesting. They could very well lose Game 5, so it's not like they're winning Game 5. They could very well lose Game 5, so we don't know.
Lose Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Game 6, maybe.
Antonio Condinho said Jimmy ain't a bully. Jimmy is a savage.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
I guess.
Reggie Reg with the super chat. He said, recently, I heard Low tell Marz he doesn't respect basketball in the 90s outside of MJ and Hakeem. Chill, I find this mad disrespectful. What say you?
I find it disrespectful as well because the 90s was great basketball, and Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon weren't the only great players in that era. There were plenty of great players in that era, and to say that those two guys were the only great players, I just think that's disingenuous. Magic played in the 90s. Barkley played in the 90s.
Shaq played in the 90s.
Shaq played in the 90s. Kobe played in the 90s. There was plenty of great players in the 90s. So no, that's just not true. No, I do find that disrespectful.
And low is your king. Y'all follow behind low, and he say nonsense like that.
It's, you know what it is? It's that each era plays different, and if you try to compare the way they play to a way a different era plays, it's going to look different, and you're not going to like one. That's it. You're not going to like one because it's different.
You want to know what he said?
Who?
I wish Low was here. I'm not going to lie.
What did he say?
He said, I made the clip. And it was please don't debate me about it because this is taken. I don't feel like debating.
Yeah, it's low said it's
he said that when Showtown said that Vanderbilt having a guy like Vando out there would be good for Lakers, and then comparing it to his day where you could have just a guy who could be out there to play just defense. He said no. He said it's not real basketball. He said that is not real basketball. This is real basketball right now. Everybody needs to have at least be a positive on offense and make shots. You can't just have guys out there just solely playing defense and expect to play high key minutes in a playoff game. It's real basketball right here.
Real hoops.
And this offense is the most advanced offense in the history of basketball that we see today. That's why these guys like Vanderbilt or like guys like Dennis Rodman, guys that are solely defensive guys, they're unplayable today than they were back then. He said that.
But yeah, I'm the one who hates the old generation.
He's not here, so we can't debate it.
But I get called an asshole.
I would like to hear y'all counter to that, though. I
will tell you this, and something was brought to my attention. I thought it was a good topic for the panel because I got a question for the panel because I think that the Denver Nuggets are going to win the NBA championship. And we live in a copycat society. So with the Denver Nuggets winning the championship, I think the big man is alive and well. He's just updated. So guys like Shaq, Olajuwon, those guys are gone. So because we have guys like Joker, as good as he is offensively, are we going to bring back defensive bigs? Just guys like they did with Shaq, guys who were bringing off the bench to just give fouls or just to be defensive guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. And let me go back because you said first, Dub, you asked the question about the counter to that is, but you have guys who aren't offensively talented. They're getting dunks and layups, but they're not good shooters. They're not good offensive players. So you have guys who are just defensive specialists. You have a lot more guys who are offensive specialists and play very little defense.
Right.
So it's a very different kind of, what do you call it? The open era. What do you said this, Chill, and I keep forgetting. Open era, the free movement era, whatever the heck
freedom of movement era.
Freedom of movement era. So yeah, you're going to get more guys who play offense and don't really play much defense. In terms of the schemes, I think that is hilarious because some teams are advanced offensively and defensively, schematically. But other teams, you hear them say, we got to dumb it down. We got to make it simpler. We got to go, like, they do that all the time. So to say that everybody all of a sudden is just so much, is just, it's a joke. And there's
and to add to your point, Tone, I mean, we have plenty of defensive guys in the NBA who aren't wizards offensively. I mean, Herb Jones ain't lighting up the scoreboard. I mean, Jaden McDaniels is not 20 a game. He's not doing that. Don't get me wrong. Jaden McDaniels can make a shot, just like Herb Jones, who I'm a big fan of, can make a shot. But primarily, he is a defender. And because he's a defender, that does not make him a liability on that team. I mean, I think that they were decimated with injury in New Orleans. Otherwise, I think that they would have been a playoff team with Herb Jones starting on that unit. So the idea that guys who primarily play defense, like in the 90s, are unplayable today, I don't think that that's true, because you also got to remember guys like Dennis Rodman. Like, a lot of people look at Dennis Rodman where he's primarily a defensive player. Just so you know, Dennis Rodman coming out of college averaged 26 a game. He was a bucket.
He could score.
He could score.
He played a
but
role.
when he got to the pros, my job was to defend and rebound. That's what I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do.
Let's be clear, and this goes back to the style of play. What kind of play were they playing in the 90s, right? Blame Jordan for this a lot. It was a lot of ISO. It was give your best scorer the ball out on the wing, let him go ISO, and then I got this guy to rebound, I got this guy to defend, I got this guy to. They had very, very defined roles. That has changed now, maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. I personally like it better, where we're asking lots of guys to do lots of different things. That doesn't mean Dennis Rodman couldn't score. It means that this is the role they put him in and he excelled at. But if you had told Dennis, hey, we need you to score 15 and grab 15 boards, very capable. I'm using his as the example. There's more. He was very capable of doing that. Very capable. He just didn't. He didn't have to.
Chilton, to answer your question about Jokic, I actually said that on my channel, where it is a copycat league and teams are gonna copy the best teams in the league. That's just a fact. They've been doing it for generations. So if Jokic does win the title this year, what you're going to see is guys getting more big body lineups, like in 2020, what the Lakers did with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, and have their other main defender be more of a roamer, just to throw at Jokic so that the other guy could do other things to combat that. I do think that is the way to try and stop and slow down Jokic's offense. You got to have a big body out there, which is why I'm surprised, where I know people are making fun of it. But, I mean, putting Tristan Thompson out there to be on Jokic sometimes, like, just try to test it out. I do think Darvingham should have done that sooner, because that could have been something that could have been an answer, and you didn't even try to test it out. I think it's ridiculous. So I do think guys are going to start investing more in just big guys who can at least catch lobs, or maybe just like some open lays, and just be a good big body defender on Jokic.
And again, they have to, like you've said this, use Shaq as the example, right? Every team had to have 3 7-footers who could give him 18 fouls, because you weren't stopping him, but that's all you could probably do to him. And so you're going to need a guy who can get up on Jokic, try to make his passes more difficult. He's still going to pass over you, still going to shoot over you just because of his size, but to make it difficult. And who's been winning the MVPs? It's all 7-footers winning MVPs the last few years. So yeah, I think it is cyclical. So I think the big man might be coming back, a different form, but I think they're coming back.
Damo, I cut you off. You were about to say something.
Oh, no. I thought you was finished, and I didn't want to cut you off. I was just going to say, when it comes to the Jokic thing, to the Jokic point, Dub kind of not stole my point, but Dub probably said what I was going to say. I'm just going to say it probably depends on what people see works on Jokic, which if you can look at the Lakers series, it was the fact that they took – damn, somebody breathing crazy. In that Lakers series, when they put Rui on Jokic and let AD roam, it worked better. So teams were probably trying to replicate that. And when the last time you seen the Lakers beat them, you did have 2 bigs out there. I don't know if you're going to just throw big bodies to the end of your bench to get fouls, but you're definitely going to start seeing teams run more. I call it that like when I grew up, that mid-2000s ball where you have 2 bigs on the court at power forward and center that are kind of more defensive minded and tough when dealing with Jokic, when dealing with Embiid, and dealing with the successful bigs in the league. But I don't know if it's going to be super copycat to the point of like how it was with the Warriors when it was the shift where everyone's seen they were shooting threes, so now everyone starts shooting threes. I don't know if it's going to be like that where everybody's going to try to find offensive. No, everybody's not going to be looking for Sengun. Like everybody's going to. You might have a couple teams trying to look for that skilled big man, but I don't know if it's going to be a league-wide thing where everyone has a a 4 or 5 that can dish out the post, pull out, and do everything Jokic does. I don't know if it's going to be that. It might be.
There's not a lot of guys like that. So you have to pick and choose. But I think one of the shifts.
Teams might try to find him. You'll try to find them. You'll get dragon. I will say, the next 5 drafts, you're going to see a lot of dragon benders. I will say that. It's going to be a bunch of fake Jokic's. There's going to be a bunch of fake Embiids coming into the league now. This 7'2" guy from Nigeria, he got good foot. He played soccer growing up. He might be Embiid. Like, you're going to see.
You're getting one from France, getting picked first overall this year. And so the other thing is, there's teams right now in the NBA that don't even have or only have one center even on their roster. Like the Raptors legit didn't have one center on their roster, and then they traded for Jokic.
Precious,
to be honest.
Precious is their guy.
Exactly.
Hey,
get a couple centers at least?
Hey, Fluent, what type of player is gonna be more effective? You know, like a Vic or a Joel or a Jokic? Because I don't think those 3 play the same. Like they got a different style. What do you think is more?
Well, it's easy to say Jokic is gonna be the most effective because I've seen it and he is.
And it translates to winning too.
But those guys, you're not going to duplicate them, right? Like, how often do you get a Jokic? How often do you get an Embiid? I haven't seen Vic in the NBA, so I'm going to keep him out of the conversation for now. How often do those guys come along? They're so like, who was the last guy who could play like Embiid?
Right,
Olajuwon.
Yep, Olajuwon.
That's a big gap in between players.
30 years ago.
Yeah, those guys don't come around very often. That's why I say to try and duplicate that is so hard. That's why more people copied what the Warriors did, because technically everybody could jack up a bunch of threes. What they didn't realize is those guys just happened to have 2 or 3 of the greatest 3-point shooters ever, and it made a difference. You can't just throw anybody out there and say, hey, shoot a bunch of threes and have success. But it's easier to duplicate than find me a 7'2" big who can shoot, who can pass, who can dribble, who can defend. Those guys just don't go on trees.
And I do want everybody to like be reminded the Nuggets are benefiting from the fact that the offenses that they've been going up against isn't that strong. So there hasn't been a lot of offenses that's been able to draw Jokic out of the paint, be able to try to key in on him because of that spacing. So Jokic is benefiting from that as well. So I do think the 3-point shooting thing is still going to be a thing. I just think the Nuggets haven't just faced an offense that can take advantage of Jokic's defense.
Hey, Dub, well, which one of these teams, the Heat or the Celtics, can they do that?
Yes, I think the Heat or the Celtics can do that, especially if the Heat's been keep shooting the 3-ball like this. Because that's how they've been losing, even though Jamal Murray wasn't there. I mean, that's how they've been losing the past postseason series. So we'll just have to see.
I can't wait for these finals.
Mm-hmm.
Finals going to answer a lot of questions, and when new information presents itself, you can't change your opinion.
You are entitled to change your opinion. Yes, you are.
You are.
All right, fellas, moving along on the next super chat. World Peace said, is this Lakers sweep worse than the Mavs sweep on Kobe in 2011?
No, I don't think so. Well, number one,
the series was close, in my opinion. I know it was in the conference finals, but I don't know. Why are we debating what sweep is worse?
Well, the reason why we debating what sweep is worse is because we're talking about LeBron and Kobe. That's why. That's what this is about. That's all this is about. This isn't about anything else but LeBron and Kobe. But
we're debating who lost worse. Like,
right. What? Exactly. Well, so because LeBron's sweep in the conference finals was worse, he's worse than Kobe. That's the logic. That's what we're going off of.
Yes,
so,
Kobe was hurt. He has an excuse. LeBron wasn't.
We're not. He played.
Not only did
that's
he
the
play,
argument I heard. He played. He can't be.
Not only
that's
did
not
he
the
play,
argument you go by, Morz.
Not only did he play,
Marz,
why are we leaving out the fact that they went further? And this was the defending NBA champs who got mocked out the playoffs.
That is true.
They were hurt.
No, they played.
No, they were hurt.
They played.
They were hurt, man.
They played. I can't have an excuse.
Injury.
If you play, you can't be hurt. It's impossible.
If you hurt, you can play. But if you're hurt, you can play. But if you play hurt, I don't want to hear that excuse after we beat your ass. If you were going to use that excuse, you should have sat down on the bench and let your teammates
got on the floor. Right.
That's what I've been told. I've been told.
You've been told that. You've been told that because it's the truth. That's why you've been told that.
So I can't hear the Lakers were hurt excuse. I can't hear Kobe was hurt. He played. It's not my fault.
Yeah, that I don't want to hear that.
It's nobody's fault. It's just the reality. Everything doesn't have to be somebody's fault. Some things can just be.
I don't want to. What's it called? if you're an athlete, I don't want to sit here and hear yourself saying that I was hurt 100%. But when you're a fan just watching the game, you could contextualize those things 100%. We're not out there playing the game.
Contextualize it for what though? Like, what does it matter?
Because I want to accurately represent these guys and accurately know why these guys lost.
If you
Dub was LeBron
represent what you saw. Or you talk about what you saw,
Maybe.
bro. That's not.
Maybe it's crazy.
Maybe
it's
He heard a pop, Dub. He heard a pop.
I'm gonna say we watched LeBron hurt himself 18 times this series alone, like, and kept playing. There's no excuse.
Like you said, honestly,
according to Ticket, he wasn't hurt. I'm his representative. I'm feeling.
Then Kobe wasn't hurt either. His ankle wasn't the size of a grapefruit.
No, the logic is if you out there, then don't bring up the fact that you hurt. The fact if you lose, I don't want to hear the fact that you hurt. You stepped on the floor, so with you stepping on the floor, you're telling me that you're ready to go. That's what you're doing.
The player is not going to say he's hurt, but I agree with we will still say, hey, they just came off of going to 3 straight NBA finals. You know, the kind of toll that takes on the body. His ankle was the size of a grapefruit. So yes, he still lost, but is it as bad of a loss as someone who's completely healthy? No. The other thing is, you know, when you say
Fluent? Just because
hold on. When you say he went further, I struggle with that too, because it also depends who you played. So like the most common one, right? Oh, Jordan lost in the first round. Yeah, to a 67-win Celtic team that was one of the greatest teams of all time.
No, Tone.
Same as a sweep in the second round to hold on. If Miami swept Boston, is that worse? Well, for Butler, no. Yes, sorry, Butler's is worse. It depends who you play too.
It does. But what you can't do, Tone, is you can't tell me that it depends on who you play and then turn around and tell me that you play who's in front of you. So those two things don't work. So when I look at the Los Angeles Lakers, who beat a number 2 seed in the Memphis Grizzlies, bounced them out the playoffs, then bounced the defending NBA champions out the playoffs. So it wasn't like they walked to the conference finals, because they didn't. That's not what happened here. They had a dogfight on their hands, as opposed to the Los Angeles Lakers, who beat a young Oklahoma City team, and then they end up getting smoked by the eventual NBA champions. So I think that who is in front of you,
Oklahoma City.
I think
that was 2010. They played OKC. 2011 they played the Chris Paul New Orleans team, I believe.
Was it New Orleans in the first round?
I believe someone can fact check that, because my memory.
I'm making up a scenario, but if you beat a 41-win team and in the second round a 42-win team, and then you get swept in the third round by a 60-win team, but the people that's on the East, but on the West, I lose in the first round to a 62-win team. What's worse? The team that lost in the first round or the team that lost in the third round? Well, it depends, because they played such different competition. That's all I'm saying. Yes, you got to look if it's close. Did they get blown out? But if you're injured, all those things do matter.
They do matter. Yeah,
if you're being fair, if you just want to make a narrative and prove a point, no, they don't. But if you're being honest and fair, you want to talk about those things because they're important. They matter.
Right.
And another thing is, like, let's wait till the postseason series finishes, because let's say if the Nuggets get, like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's say if they get swept, a lot of people are going to sit here and look at the Nuggets, the Lakers getting swept by the Nuggets, because you just got swept by frauds, because everyone will call them frauds.
They'll say they went through a weak West, and that's the only reason they made it to the final. Yeah,
exactly. So getting swept by a team like that, everyone would just switch their opinion. So let's wait.
One seed in the West getting swept by the 8 seed in the East would be so nasty.
It'd be terrible, Damo. It'd be awful.
Oh, I'm on Twitter, boy. I can't be on the internet for that.
And to answer your question, Marz, that's why we debating this, because it's about Kobe and LeBron. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the two teams. Because if Chris Paul was on that Laker team and they got swept, and I don't know, Embiid was on this Laker team and they got swept, this wouldn't be a conversation.
But again, because all of this is always narrative. The 98 Jazz sucked. Really? Didn't they sweep Shaq and Kobe? Didn't they 4-1 Duncan and Robinson? Like, come on, man. Like, anyways,
they were a really good unit. They just went up against the Bulls.
But that's my point, is people will divert their narratives to prove whatever point they want to make.
Like people and Marz said,
you know, it's the same person. I was having this is why this is fresh in my mind, because someone was bringing up to me the Mavericks. What do you mean? The Mavericks should have beat the Heat in 2011. They were amazing. They swept Kobe and the Lakers. And I said, and in the same breath said the 98 Jazz sucked. And I was like, hold on, your logic doesn't doesn't your math don't math. Because
the math ain't math in tone.
If the Mavericks were great for doing that, how come the Jazz sucked for doing more?
Yeah.
That's all.
So
I don't understand. Real quick in this chat, this dude Double Cup said, I cat for LeBron all the damn time. How come when I say something about him positively, I'm caping for him? But these people, they talk about Bryant all the time. They talk about Jordan all the time, but none of them are caping for them. Me, on the other hand, I'm constantly caping, quote unquote, for James. Why is it okay for you guys to talk about your guy, but when I talk about my guy, I'm caping for him? Can I get an
because you're an old dude? You're an old dude capping for young dudes. That's why.
Unbelievable, man. I'm just trying to get a satisfactory answer for that. Yo, you love this dude. Meanwhile, these people. Meanwhile, these people, they talk about Bryant and they talk about him the way that they talk about him, and I talk about him in a positive way also. I'm not just critical of Kobe Bryant. I talk about Kobe Bryant in a positive way all the time. Same thing with Jay. But when I talk about James, I'm caping for him. But when you talk about your guy,
caping or capping?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Capping and caping.
I think the young people call it caping.
Because he's capping on Kobe to cape for LeBron.
Right. I think the young people call it caping. So when I'm caping, I'm quote unquote caping for James. But when you cape for Bryant, or when you cape for Jordan, or you cape for all of these other guys, it's okay for you to do it. But when I talk about my guy, I'm off the rails.
Because it depends.
Ask them to go on True with True and explain it to you.
It depends. It depends who you agree with, Jay, because I'll say something positive about Jordan and negative about LeBron. All the Jordan fans tell me how smart I am, how right I am, and that yes, LeBron's a bum. And then what do all the LeBron fans say? You're a Jordan hater. And I was like, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. Right. But the facts don't matter. It's where your opinion lies. And then I've been called a Jordan hater because I criticized Jordan about something. I was a Jordan hater. Really, guys? Like,
you are a LeBron hater.
Why are we like this?
What? I have a LeBron poster right here.
Yeah, and you don't like it. You don't even like seeing it.
You only got it because of your son. Your son gave it to you. So don't make it sound like you bought it.
on top of that,
for lit dude.
Fluent, I would like to say,
I love LeBron. I hate his fans.
I would like to say, and me and Marz talked about this on Open Gym, that a lot of people disrespect Michael Jordan's finals competition mainly because they didn't win. Like you said, if the Utah Jazz won one of those final series against the Bulls, everybody would look at them as a great team. The Phoenix Suns, too, that team was a great team as well. And was it 91?
Yes.
92.
93.
91 was the Lakers, 92 was Portland, 93 was the Suns.
Right. Correct.
So I was watching the series live, I remember.
This guy's funny as hell. But yeah, a lot of these guys' opinions would have changed if they would have won, which is why we say winning bias, Fluent. So just because they lost to Chicago Bulls, they don't look at them as great of a team as like the Dallas Mavericks or like the San Antonio Spurs in 07. Like they just don't look at them the same because they didn't win. It's just such a
which is kind of crazy too, Dub, because if you think about how much different are we talking about that Laker team in 91 if they beat the Bulls? How different are we talking about Magic? How different are we talking about Drex? How different are we talking about Drex if they beat the Bulls in 92? We talking about Charles Barkley way different today if they beat the Bulls in 93. How about Karl Malone is a top 10 player today if they beat the Bulls? 100%
just once. Just once.
If he beat them once. Karl Malone is a top, but not only is he a top 10 player, that Jazz team is probably considered one of the best teams ever. But the fact that they lost to them, now all of a sudden those teams weren't very good. That is not true. Those teams were awesome. Which suggests how good the Bulls were.
In 91, he was washed. Forget the fact he was
not true.
Back-to-back MVP and second that year. Yeah, he was washed.
Right.
Yeah, he should have been MVP in 1990. But
real quick, I just want to put this out there because I just seen it come across my timeline.
I was about to just say it, Damo. You got it.
Memphis police. There's just been reported they went by to do a wellness check on John Morant and came to the conclusion he's not in any danger of harming himself or anyone else. He's just taking a break from social media.
Thank you, Memphis police. Appreciate that.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
So he's saying bye from social.
Bye from social media so he doesn't embarrass himself.
Good idea.
Let's just go over here and check this dude's temperature. All right, my man, you good? All right, we don't want no trouble. We just came by to check on you. That's all.
I know we have PC Wrestling, so I'll just say because they didn't do a wellness check fast enough on.
Don't say his name.
You know his name, Chris Benoit. So you know what? I'm glad they did it. Better safe than sorry. Thank you.
So.
All right, moving along. Duck with the super chat said, I love the show. Been watching since the first Low Players Choice episode in Marz and Old Head Chill. Been my favorite basketball heads, but I appreciate y'all. Big Ox.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. 100%. Tone too. Don't leave Tone out.
No, you can leave him out. You can leave me out. Yeah, as long as I'm there, it's fine. Then you know.
They wanted the youngest and the oldest.
YSN Money said, "Yo, chill and Ox. Make sure Dub ain't down there tricking."
Because he had his head down, he was making sure that your card and you had your card out. So he was making sure that
What's wrong with having this shit out? This is a gift card, bro. Like, this is a gift card.
What you're
just because you got a gift card don't mean you ain't tricking.
Dub, ain't nothing wrong with a little tricking, bro. Get your trick.
Nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Hey, Dub, get your trick on, brother.
For real,
somebody got to do it.
For real.
Damn, bro. I'm down bad.
Hey, somebody got to do it. But when you feed her, Dub, only get her a slice of pizza, right, Fluent? Right.
They good.
And share it.
Share it. That's real romantical.
Feed who? Feed who? I'm all about equal rights over here, bro.
Dub, you ain't doing Dutch at Dub. Dub, are you going Dutch? Are you serious, Dub?
I'm all about equal rights over here, man. She better buy me one.
There you go. Tell her I got an appetite too.
I need them to be coachable. You feel me?
Yeah. All right, so we're not gonna do this today. We're gonna
it's like nah. Let me stop trolling. There's actually an episode on my channel about that. You guys should always be paying for the food. 100%. Go ahead.
Shout out Dub Tate. Oscar Proud Jr. said L Dub. Shout out to being an elite casual. LOL. Great football takes though.
All because Marz was trolling. Jesus Christ.
Dub, there's nothing wrong with being a casual. That's like most of the basketball community. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just about self-awareness and understanding you're a casual. That's where the growth comes.
Dub, you're a part of the majority, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trolling me,
okay.
man.
At this point, I want to take the time to say we do have PC weekend coming sometime in maybe late July, early August, whatever. Any of these dudes that you do think are casuals, you have the opportunity to come to PC weekend, have a party with them, have a ball, and tell them to their face that they're casuals. I'm just the exception that if you call me a casual, bring your basketball shoes because I will dunk on your ass. Moving along, Alan R said, "Who has the most basketball knowledge on the panel?"
Jay.
Shit, I don't know.
Jay. It's Jay because he has like that photographic memory.
I'm going with
you.
Chilltown
be knowing facts that like I don't even. How do you remember this guy had 32 in this random game in July? I'm like,
I have to go.
I literally said to him once. Three examples, but they're fast. I said, when was the last time a Finals MVP didn't make the Hall of Fame? So he ran down he made like two mistakes, maybe ran down every single MVP in the Finals MVP in the history of basketball, and I was like, oh, so it's this one who never is in the Hall of Fame. And then I said, what was it? Who won every NBA championship? He got into the 50s before he started getting a little fuzzy.
50. It was like 55 before it got fuzzy.
So before the Bill Russell era, yeah, I agree. That's about as far as I can get because then you got like the Hawks and the Minneapolis Lakers.
Right, you got 55 when it got tripped.
And then to Marz's point, I was like saying something about, oh yeah, on April 13th I was doing this, and he's like, oh, that was the game where I was in
this
the building.
man headed off the backboard, and then I was like,
he scored 32 points.
I don't know how he'd be remembering these random games. I'm like, okay, I could name the NBA champions. I could do that, but the random stats, like he remembered what Grant Hill was doing against Scottie Pippen in the 90s.
Can you, Marz?
Yeah, I could get to around 57 ish, probably.
Okay, go.
Oh my god. Okay. So you got Warriors, Bucks, Lakers, Toronto, Golden State, Cleveland, Golden State, San Antonio, Miami. We're at 20 Dallas, Lakers, Boston, Spurs, Miami, Spurs, Detroit, Lakers. Whoa. 03 the Spurs, my fault.
There we go. Okay.
He folded. Nah, it's too late.
Yeah, let him keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
I was losing track of the years.
We're at 03. Keep going. 02.
Dub, you're getting muted.
02.
He muted him.
Yo, they going back and forth, muting each other. I'm not touching them.
Then you got the Lakers 3-peat. So all the way to 2000, the Lakers. Then San Antonio, the Chicago Bulls 3-peat, Houston repeat. So now we're at 93. So another Chicago 3-peat. Then you're at 90. That's Detroit. 89 is Detroit. 88 is the Lakers.
Are you
87.
sure? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
88 is the Lakers. 87 is also the Lakers. 86 is Boston. 85 is the Lakers. 84 is Boston. 83 is Philly. 82 is the Lakers.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Stop asking him. Let him go through the list.
81 is Boston. 80 is the Lakers. 79 is Seattle. 78 is Washington. 77 is Portland. 76 is Boston. 75 is Golden State. 74 is Boston. 73 is the Knicks. 72 is the Lakers. 71 is the Bucks. 70 is the Knicks. 69 is Boston. 68 Boston. 67 Philadelphia. 66 all the way down to 59 is Boston. 58 is the Hawks. 57 is the Boston Celtics. 56, I believe, is the Hawks again. Damn. Okay, I got to Bill Russell.
Philadelphia Warriors.
I knew I could get to Bill Russell.
I see you, Marz. I see you, Marz.
Around 55 is where it got funny for me, Marz.
You start getting Bob Pettit's teams, the Minneapolis Lakers when they had George Mikan and them guys.
Yeah,
I have to be. Yeah, but I can
that's where it got fuzzy for me. Yep.
There we go.
That's impressive, Marz.
Thank you very
much. But if you do want to experience the genius we call Chilltown, man, y'all come through at 2 p.m. West, or and 5 p.m. East. Y'all come check us out. Come check out the genius we call Chilltown.
W plug.
I ain't all that, but all right.
Yeah, we'll be there. You know where to find us at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. Nick.
There's birds going on in the back.
That bird got a name on it. That's crazy.
Nick Hallen said, if the Heat split at TD and won at home, it would still be 3-1, and no one will be talking about a comeback like this. Why is it different now?
Because Boston are going to win the series.
1-4 in a row is ridiculous. That's why.
Right, because they didn't.
You thought Miami were going to sweep. That's 4 in a row. It's the same thing. It's just a reverse sweep.
Huh?
See? It's a reverse sweep. You just can't afford to lose, but you have to win 4 in a row. It's a reverse sweep. That's all it is.
And
so if Miami can sweep, Boston can sweep.
Plus, when you're on the road,
they didn't sweep them though, so the point is irrelevant.
But they could have because you thought they were going to. So
that doesn't matter. They didn't do it. It proves my point. It proves my point. It's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row.
It's not. Denver did it easy. Cooked.
Denver's just that much better though.
Yeah, same way Boston is that much better than Miami.
No, they're not.
They're a 2 seed to an 8 seed. Same gap as a 1 seed to a 7 seed.
Losing 3 in a row to a team does not mean you're
they gave them a head start because they wanted to have entertainment.
Stop trolling, Marz. I'm not. Chill. What you about to say?
If you want to get all the championships in order, not like these guys where they made mistakes, start checking out Sports Fluent on June 1st, where we're going to recap every single season starting back. We're going to go back further than 47. Actually, we're starting with the first game ever. The Toronto Huskies and the New York Knicks, and working our way. So the BAA right into the NBA. So you'll be able to do that easier than Marz and Chill.
Is there even footage of like Joe Folks and those guys playing basketball?
Listen, I'll shout out to my guy Sebastian, who's a regular watcher of this show and of Fluent and Chill, who's been pulling up footage from the 1940s and 50s for me. And what, like I said, we're gonna go through every season, and as we go through the seasons, we're gonna do a conspiracy if there is one. So like when we get to 62, that 100-point game, we're gonna talk about. That's when we're gonna drop the conspiracy information too. So it's gonna be a good series.
I was just gonna say that. What they didn't split at home, and when the road team beats the home team 2 games at home, that demoralizes them. So it would not be the same thing as them splitting at home and going 3-1. No, it's not the same thing. They went, and not only that, they got blown out in game 3 in their building. So it's not close to the same thing.
Moving along, super chat from Oscar Proud Jr. said, "Facts, Chill. The big man has come back." Yo.
Is there a bomb going off back there?
No, it's what you call it. I live in South Florida, man. It's what you call it. It's lightning out.
Okay. All right.
I apologize. Yeah,
lightning in the afternoon?
Oh, that's what it around from this. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's thundering outside from this time until the end of the summer. These are the summer months. In the afternoon, wow. it rains really hard for like an hour. It's like a monsoon. But anyway, Ron, I'm sorry.
Real quick though, Ron, I've heard y'all complain about birds, thunder. Nature is beautiful, y'all.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Thunder and birds chirping. You can't get no better than that.
And as you guys can see, Ox is amidst the beam right now.
Yes,
somewhere in Sacramento, this is what it's looking like.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Nature could kiss my
find some
ass.
free agents to get out of the.
That super chat you was reading, though, Ron. That was
let's do it. Let's do it. Before Dub just randomly said Nature can kiss his ass. Oscar Proud Jr. said, "Facts, chill. The big man has come back. If the Nugs win, like when Golden State Warriors went to heavy threes every day. I watch y'all. I gotta ask questions. Low hoop knowledge, and yet I have to question Low's hoop knowledge, and yes, I would bake him."
I don't. Everybody says that, but then nobody pulls up.
I pleaded for people to come on
Low
Open Gym,
Low
but they don't.
also cheats, right? So
Facts, Basketball Reference merchant, man.
you got the reflection proof.
You guys are nasty.
RJ said, "Bob, you put light skin mode on after that Kings fan?"
That's crazy.
Angie Carr with the super stat said, "How crazy is Game 5 going to be? You think TD crowd will be a factor as well? Also, great job on the super chats, Ron. Keep it up." What y'all think? Y'all think?
I think the crowd gonna piss Jimmy off
crazy?
more than the players. Jimmy gonna hear some stuff from that crowd, and this is gonna set him off before Grant Williams snarling at him. I promise you.
Boston's crowd is doo-doo. That's why Boston play better on the road. But they're still gonna win the game anyway. But it's not because of the crowd. Racist crowd.
I do think winning 3 games in a row at home is wild. I do think that.
Anybody else
Shit,
with
that
the
helps your
Fansville
point,
factor?
boys.
No,
Okay.
What the fuck, bro?
What was that?
This is ridiculous. Marz is trolling today, bro.
Troll alert.
it's only a troll because Dub's getting cooked. That's the only reason he's saying that.
Saying sure is getting cooked. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't need many words to cook you, Dub.
Go ahead, Ron. That's disrespectful.
Drink More Water said, "If Miami makes the finals and beats Denver, would this be the first time in NBA history where a team beats both number 1 seeds in a conference?"
No.
Really?
No, the Bulls did it. The Bulls beat the Knicks as the number 1 seed in '93, and then they beat Phoenix as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
Look at this guy just knowing this stuff.
Would this be the first time my AC did it though?
It's the first time the AC will win the chip.
First
So
time
yeah.
AC won a chip.
The first time the AC, but it wouldn't be the first time that a team beat the number 1 seed in both conferences. No, that wouldn't be the first time that happened. Bulls was the number 1. They were the number 1 seed, and like I said, and I think not Miami. I'm sorry. What you call it? Cleveland did it in 16. I don't think they were in first place. I think they were in second.
Hawks was 2015. Hawks was 2015.
Yeah. In 16, who did they beat in the Eastern Conference Championship that year in 16?
Probably
Toronto. Yeah, they beat Toronto. Toronto was the number 1 seed, and then the Golden State Warriors were the number 1 seed. So no, that's not the first time that ever happened. So it's happened plenty of times.
I don't know how you just remember these teams seeding.
Why?
Low down.
Oh damn! That is legitimate evidence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait, was Low trying to claim that you had just pure knowledge?
That's so crazy. That is so crazy.
Unless that's photoshopped, but that's legitimate.
No, it's not.
Show that again.
We need that.
Yo, Fluent, put that again. Put that.
That's
up again.
amazing
Put that up again.
evidence.
That is crazy.
Wait, hold on. Was Low like telling y'all he just knew basketball like that? Like he wasn't looking stuff up?
Yeah, we were doing King of the Court where like we had to debate each other one on one.
That was King of the Court. That was King of the Court.
And Low was denying
What?
his use of Basketball Reference.
Yo, Low.
Wow, he's caught in 4K. He was caught in 4K.
Yo, Low, no way.
Hey,
bro.
great
The
detective
glass
work,
is
Fluent. Great detective
snitching.
work.
That's
Fluent.
crazy.
Yo, I'm surprised you got away with that for so long, man. I've known Low for a long time. Low's he has the fastest fingers I've ever known when it comes to basketball debates. You can hear his keyboard just tapping away, looking up stuff. The fact that he really trying to pass off that he like just knows all this basketball stuff, like he's looking it up, is disgusting work. That is crazy. Yo,
Lowe's a fraud. That's crazy.
That's fake. It's fake.
that's
fake?
nasty
It's
work,
fake.
bro.
Are you sure it's fake?
I just made it right now.
It
not-
looked too
but it's
clear
not-
in the glasses,
But that's
he
not
was still on Basketball
no,
Reference.
Low, no, Low uses the hell out of Basketball Reference like crazy. So the fact that
I literally just made it right now.
Everybody-
I'm a Photoshop merchant, is what I am. I just made it.
Everybody does know that Low does use basketball reference.
I'm about to say you have to.
We
bro. You
all look at basketball reference.
No, when we're doing one-on-one debates.
I literally never look at basketball reference.
Nah, Low lives on basketball reference. That's like the first thing that pops up when he opens his computer.
When he starts talking about a topic, he goes, "Let me look up this player right now and remember."
Before he says anything, he pulls it up to make sure he's not wrong.
Yeah,
you gotta admit, I got some skills though.
That was really good, actually.
That real quick. I did that real quick.
You shouldn't have said it was fake. You should have let the troll go.
No. I can't do that to Low because then that would have started a whole thing. No, I can't do that. I like Low. I wouldn't do that too. Although I have a feeling Dub's gonna clip that and we're not gonna get any context.
I don't edit the panel anymore, so you guys.
Oh no, okay.
You got kicked off editing the panel. That's tough.
Nah, they needed my skills to help other shows, so. I'm tired of this guy, bro. He is just trolling.
It's that time. It's that time, Ron.
All right, chat. I put out some polls for you guys. And you guys gave me your thoughts. So we're gonna go ahead and get to this. We did a contest. Now I want you guys to do a contest. It was very similar. You guys' votes were very similar to what we did, but it was a slight alteration. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right. The first one was none other than Grant Williams. You guys, we said higher. You guys said higher.
Oh, he's no longer available.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, we'll move off of Grant Williams then. Al Horford it is.
Oh, he's not available. Wait, it changed. He's now 6.5.
Oh.
So we got cheated.
Yes, we absolutely.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't because it was 6.5. That's better for us. We hit lower, right?
No, we hit.
No,
higher.
we had higher.
Y'all hit higher? Oh my god.
Yeah, we hit higher, Dub. We
folded, bro.
We might have messed up. Well, chat, you guys said higher. So I mean, if you said higher on 7.5, I'm assuming you won't be mad at saying higher on 6.5.
You guys are ridiculous, man.
Next is Al Horford.
Underdog got the script. That's why they changed it.
Dub, we just not haters, bro.
No,
it was points and rebounds. And Chad, I asked you higher or lower, and you guys, well, you said higher, just like us. Next, Caleb Martin. 12.5 points. I asked you guys higher or lower, and well, just like us, you guys said higher. Malcolm Brogdon. I asked you guys higher or lower on 9.5 points, and just like us, once again, you said higher.
Higher merchants. Oh my god.
Facts, Marz.
Higher merchants.
And there is a lower. We finally got to a lower. Shout out Legend of Winning. We got to a lower. I asked you guys in the chat. We didn't do it, but I asked you guys. Higher or lower? Marcus Smart. Assist at 6. You guys finally went lower. So as you can see up in that top right corner, the payout multiplier is times 20. Now, if you guys don't know, Underdog will match up to 100% of $100 that you put in your account. So if you put in 100, they'll give you 100. All you have to do is use the promo code THEPANEL. As you can see, we're about to win up to 20 times the amount that we put in, and Underdog's going to match us for our 20. So instead of 20, we'll have 40 in our account, but we're going to put 20 right here. As you can see with the times 20 multiplier, we will pay out 400, but Euro, I'm having a hard time believing that Malcolm Brogdon's going to, or that Marcus Smart's going to go lower than 6 assists. Well, do you guys think Malcolm Brogdon to get higher or lower than 6 assists?
He's not getting 6 assists.
No, he's not getting that.
Well, all right, kill that insurance thing, Euro. Kill it. Yes, we will submit this right here. Chat, this is you guys. This is yours.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Appreciate you, Euro. And For those who don't know, we did a contest the other day. P Hauser 90 won 500 for basically, signing up with the promo code, and we picked his name out of hat. We will be doing another one Friday.
Well, where my money at? I told you that's my burner account.
I told you to send me the link of your burner account. So once you send that to me, I'll deposit it to you, whether you want Cash App, Venmo. I even give you cold hard cash. Whatever it is that you want. All dubs. Okay. You sure you don't want
Big Ox only deal in cash. Big Ox don't do the other stuff.
All dubs, man.
You sure you don't want ones?
Nah, come on, bro. I'm not kicked. I don't think I'm gonna be seeing low anytime soon. We're not gonna go hit the spot. So
Big Dog Hunting said I'm P Hauser 90. All right. Send me your promo code. Look, P Hauser 90, whoever you are, wherever you are, I got the money for you. I'm just waiting for you to reach out to me, and we'll get to it that way. But wait. We have company, guys.
In effect. Ticket TV in the house. What up?
Real town.
What up?
You know what it is, sucker.
What up, sucker? what's going on, sucker?
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string from Burger King.
Hey, I can dig it. What up, brother? How you running?
Nah, man, I got a daggone thunderstorm out here that'll knock everything out. The daggone streets is flooded. The power is out. And so I had to step out just to get something to eat because we ain't got no power right now. The electrical lines are down.
Damn.
Be safe out there, bro.
Already, dog.
How's your channel? Yeah, everything good with your channel?
1 million haters want me dead.
Yeah, they do.
Forced to carry a strap. Ticket, you a 7-pound felon. What you doing with that? 22, either you lose or you lose.
They want you over. That's
y'all know what's up, man.
When you becoming that big a deal, they want you over.
I'm gonna give them what they want.
What they
I'm gonna give them what they want.
They boost you up. They're gonna put you on the ladder and boost you up to the ladder. Once you get to the top of the ladder, they're gonna snatch it right from under you. That's what they're trying to do.
I'm gonna give them with it. But see, let me tell you, when you rich in real life, like I said, God bless me, so I ain't gotta worry about that.
I'm a firm believer. I told y'all before, boy. Too Short, my man, Too Short got the best line, boy. I'm always hearing rappers big balling on their songs. I live like that for real, and you'll never say I'm wrong.
That's a fact, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with Ticket. I gotta go get some food.
All right, Tone.
I'll catch you later.
I gotta go work on. I'm gonna post that video for y'all with the Ticket and his glasses. I'll tag y'all.
You crazy as hell, Fluent.
Yo, so do want to talk a little bit about Game 5 and what that's going to entail. But before we do that, I do want to ask you guys, how is this rest going to affect the Nuggets in the championship with them sweeping and this possibly going the distance? How does the rest right now affect the Nuggets? Jokic, Murray.
It doesn't. I don't know. People overrate that so much. Like, don't get me wrong, rest matters, but unless the series is probably going to 7 games. Sometimes you being in rhythm and in stride after going 7 games, that game 1, because you didn't have that long of rest, it could mess up the other team. Oh, be good out there, Showtown. I seen that. You all right? I've seen that power go in and out. That's wild. But like sometimes you resting too long could actually hurt you in the long run because you just get out of rhythm like that. While a team that just went to a 6 or 7 game series, they still in stride. So game 1, they're not really going through the motions like that. So it works both ways. I'm not really harping on, the Nuggets got this much rest, so they're gonna have an edge on them. No, it could work both ways.
I think that was the point they were making, that it could benefit the Eastern Conference teams, similar to how Philly in 01 had like a 3-day turnaround, whereas the Lakers had like 10 days off, and then people believe that that's the reason why the Lakers lost that game, because they were out of a rhythm. So I think that's the point they were making, but I could be wrong. But the East wins the title regardless, whether or not Denver are rested or not. It's not your team winning it, Dub, so you can relax. The East win the title regardless. So.
Still, I think like what you were just saying, Marz, about the team that had the longer rest, being out of rhythm and getting hit first in the finals. But I think that only matters for like the first game. Once the other team, the rested team gets their wheels going, I think they end up having more rest, so they're fatigued. The other team is still fatigued, So I think the rest in the long run is better for your team. It's just be the first game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will only be a factor in the first game, but considering the first game will probably be in Denver's altitude, I don't know how much it's really going to benefit the team. Like, I don't know how much it's really going to benefit Boston.
Whatever team wins.
No,
Miami,
you know what you was about to say.
Miami needs to just get it taken care of quick so they can get a little more rest.
Did y'all talk about what's going on with Ja Morant?
We talked about it briefly.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. Everything's good with him, man.
Yeah, they sent the police to this man's house. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. You got to check on people like that, man. You never know. It's better to be safe than sorry.
You got thoughts on the situation, Ticket?
I mean, dude got something going on, apparently. I mean, you come out the blue, you got all these situations going on, and then when you see him on social media like that, something going on. It just didn't happen out the blue. You know what I'm saying? Whether he trying to show somebody that he riding like that or what, something changed, something going on. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a pro and you getting a whole lot of money like that, a whole lot of love, but a whole lot of hate come with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like on YouTube. Like when you get to a certain status, it's a whole lot of love you get, and because of that, you're gonna get a whole lot of hate. So you never know the hate that's gonna come Ja Morant way. You know what I'm saying? Because he's on a different level in a different tax bracket. So now things he may do, you know what I'm saying, whether it be big or small. Let's say that he got a friend and maybe they wanted to borrow some money from him or something like that. He ain't do it. Maybe they say he a turncoat, and then that your friends turn to your enemies. You know what I'm saying? And then it's different things going on, or maybe you rub somebody the wrong way somewhere, or he got all these little situations you've been reading about going on, bro. These people might have family that might want to see him. You know what I'm saying, bro? So he might feel a way like, oh, I got to do this, and then he do it, forgetting everything that he got going on in his personal life and all the stuff he got to lose. And I mean, bro, you wake up, you already lost $40 million. You probably lost all your sponsors. That's probably another $30 to $40 million. Then you probably gonna be suspended the whole season. That's another $40 million. That's damn near $150 million in 3 months you lost. Like, bro, and you young dude, you ain't really got cash them big checks yet like that. You got your rookie check, but you ain't really cashed the big checks yet. And to lose that in 3 months, bro, you know what I'm saying? That could drive somebody insane. It could make somebody go crazy. So, I mean, all you can do is just pray for the brother and hope that he ain't in no real serious beef. You know what I'm saying? A real serious situation to where he gotta be walking around like that. Because like I said, the only time that you need to be walking around like that is if you're gonna use it, or if you got a real situation going on. Because when you at that bracket, you don't see the dudes like that got that much money like that moving like that. You don't never see LeBron moving like that. You don't never see none of the big top dogs in the league, Giannis, none of these dudes that's cashing checks for real. You don't see them moving like that. You don't even see like the rappers who's in a whole different tax bracket like Jay-Z, Nas, and them. You don't even see them moving like that. You ain't never seen them, on social media doing nothing like that when they got the bag. They got paid armed security that if it's a problem, they're gonna deal with you. You know what I'm saying? And then they ain't gonna have no problem. But Ja, he's young, so he's going about it in a way, bro, where, man, bro, it's so bad because of the repercussions, bro, like that energy you bring. But I also know, like I said, it come a lot of hate with this, bro. They went through a situation. They got smoked by the Lakers. He probably feel like the whole season was on him for what he did. You know what I'm saying? And then he just wild out and go crazy. A young dude, don't want to listen to nobody. And so, like I said, man, bro, this come with a whole lot of pressure. That's why I was like, even the brothers that's on here now, as y'all continue to build y'all channels and stuff like that and build up, yeah, y'all gonna have a lot of supporters, but it's also gonna be a lot of people who don't like you, who want to see your downfall. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to understand that's what comes with the territory. So yeah, man, I hope Ja, work that out, and I hope he turn his life around, and I hope that he make the better decisions to protect his investments and his family going forward.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to acknowledge about the Ja situation is, he lost a little bit of he lost a lot of bit of money with not making that first team due to the first incident. He may even is probably going to face some type of suspension this year, and what may. So he's going to lose a little bit of that. He lost the Nike deal from what it's looking like. I don't necessarily know 100%, but the thing about Ja is he's 23, 24?
24.
24. Mm-hmm. Ja's such a transcendent talent, and he's still young enough to, if he has a good track record over the next couple of years, all of that will come back to him. Somebody's still going to pay Ja so long as his head's on right and he continues the ball. He's still going to get that. He still has the potential to get another shoe deal or another, big endorsement in the future. All he has to do is basically clean it up for a couple of years. So luckily, he has the ability and the talent to where, brands will come back to him. He just has to show that he's basically reformed, which I think he's learned his lesson. I think he'll be good, but let's just hope in the moment that he's good and that he continues to trend in the right direction.
23, Ron. I'm sorry, he's not 24 yet.
23. Oh yeah, he's
23.
we all been.
Ron,
has been 23 before.
You remember? Y'all remember? I know Chitchat remember the situation what happened to Lorenzen Wright. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like that, like people. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's Ja's right. It's Ja's right." Man, listen, man. When you're a pro athlete like that, bro, you don't want to be moving like that, man. That's a red flag right there. And Chill know what I'm talking about. That's a red flag right there, bro. Yeah. So we have seen basketball players lose their lives. You know what I'm saying? Getting into stuff. So we don't know what's going on with Ja or what he may be into. But for that to suddenly happen, you don't see 99% of the NBA basketball players doing that. They're not moving like that. So when you start moving like that and you want somebody, obviously he wants somebody to see that. You want somebody to see that, yeah, I'm built like this, so I'm doing this. That's not the way. Because what you're doing is you're bringing forth a whole different type of energy towards you. And like I said, you the star of a team. You an easy target. You know what I'm saying, bro? So like I said, man, just keep your head on right, man. Get your money. And, you ain't got to turn your back on your people. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to progress. Some people, when you go to a different level, they can't come with you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not ready for that. They're not ready. The people around you ain't ready for your growth. That's the one thing that I will give to my boy Chilltown, his boy LeBron. That nigga his buddies always made the right decisions around him. They not involved in no foolishness. They not involved in no bull job. They about doing their business. They about getting their money. They organized and they respectable out here. You know what I'm saying? And they businessmen. That's the type of guys you got to have around you when you're trying to be great in life.
My man was one of my best friends to this day. He was Lorenzen Wright. That was his rook when he played for the Clippers in 1996. His name's Terry DeHare. We grew up together. He's one of my best friends. That was his rook. And to be honest with you, Ticket, that was a situation which is exactly what you're talking about. The way he was moving, the way he was around people, and how generous he was with people, and how he just was always giving people stuff. It kind of became something that turned into something way bigger. And we got to remember, like you said, Ron, he is 23 years old and he's a kid, but we also got to take into consideration who Ja is, way from, he's from a small town in South Carolina. This whole immediate fame and fortune, this came on him quicker than he probably imagined. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to say, Ja is a kid, and which he is, but he's responsible enough to know that the way I'm moving is not going to get me where I need to go. In fact, I'm going to lose all of this if I don't switch up my style. And there are people that are around him that should not be around him. And there are people who he surrounds himself with who he needs to eliminate himself with. Ticket brought up a point about you can't bring everybody with you. Michael Vick is evidence of that. Michael Vick is evidence that when you leave the hood, you can't bring everybody with you because everybody is not equipped to handle leaving where they're from. Unfortunately, you got to leave some people behind. And in this particular situation, that may be the case with Ja.
Yo, in the chat, you guys keep saying 23 is not a kid. 23 is a young man. 23 is grown. 23, obviously, you're an adult. But unless you've made 23 and you superseded that and you're older than that, you wouldn't understand that you have a lot of maturing to do after 23. So, 23, he's a man. He's grown, but that doesn't mean he's mature.
I can tell you right now, Ron. I can tell you right now. I can look back at if I could talk to my 23-year-old self, because that dude thought he knew everything. He ain't know a damn thing. That dude was dizzy as hell. But you couldn't tell the 23-year-old me. You couldn't tell him nothing. So I can imagine what Ja is going through right now, getting the money that he's getting.
Yeah, you gotta blame that on the Memphis Grizzlies though.
Yeah,
and this is why they didn't put no vets on the team. You don't got, and they act like they didn't need them. This is why Udonis Haslem, everybody laugh at UD. He necessary, my G.
He is.
This is why having vets on the team, like everybody laughed at Melo, he can still produce, but that's why having guys like that on a roster, especially full of young guys, is necessary, bro. Every team, in my opinion, should have a vet on that roster, bro. Or OG on the roster who's there in the. I ain't talking about on the coaching staff. I'm talking about on the roster who's on the court so he get the vibe of the team. Because it's different when you a coach versus when you a player. When you a player, players actually feel like you here in the mud with me with it. That's why they respect Udonis Haslem so much. Because UD, he actually going through the practices with him. He on the flights with him, like with them. You know what I'm saying? He in the meetings with them. So it ain't like he's from a different position. He in that same position. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they need to change that up immediately. Because for Steven Adams to be the oldest guy on your team and he like 28 years old, that's not gonna cut it, B. Because ain't nobody listening to him.
And it's not just the coaching staff, it's the organization. They have a player development department, and it's not just developing you as a basketball player. It's also developing you as a man too. Because when you first get the job, I've always stood on this logic ticket. I've always stood on the logic that I got pro potential. I'm not a pro. It's your job to teach me the pro game. I don't know how to be a pro. I just got the potential to be a good pro player. Once I get to your organization, it's your job to teach me how to be a pro. And Kevin Garnett, and it was Kevin Garnett and it was Chauncey Billups who said, what was the coach? I don't know why his name escapes me. Coach of the year for the Toronto Raptors.
Wayne Casey?
Nope, not Casey. Rewind. Keep going back just a little bit more. Why is his name escape me? He was the coach of the year. He had Vince Carter on the crew. Mitchell, that's him. Coach Sam Mitchell. Both Kevin Garnett and Chauncey Billups said Sam Mitchell taught us how to be pros, and you need that. You need a guy that's on the crew that's going to teach you how to be a pro. So the Udonis Haslems, the AC Greens of the world, those guys, they need to exist. Otherwise, we just got a bunch of kids leading kids. And this is what you're going to get as a result of that.
That's a fact, especially when I'm putting multi-millions of dollars in your hand, bro. Like if I go right now, look at Dub right now. If I give Dub about $40 million, Dub won't act a damn fool. Look at him. Just look at Dub right now.
I'm not.
Hey, but see?
Stop. Don't do that. No.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put my money here. I'm gonna start businesses. I'm not gonna
you are, Dub.
No, you are going to be in Cancun during spring break, turning everybody.
I am telling you.
Yes, you are, Dub.
This is why, in terms of John Morant and everything, in my opinion, maybe I'm just different from everybody else. That's just me, but
that's what every 23-year-old says.
I don't care. Okay, Ron. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what they say.
That's also what every other 23-year-old says. I don't care. I know. I know what I'm talking about. I don't care.
Can I finish? Like you talking now? I'm not even saying anything.
Go ahead. You got it.
All I'm saying in terms of this John Morant thing and everything, don't get me wrong. I hear y'all points with the being a 23-year-old, there's still a lot of growing to do, 100%. But also, I'm not going to discount that, it's also time to mature as well. Like maturity is a thing that at the age of 23 years old, if you haven't reached that point yet, I mean, bro, you got to surround yourself around a better circle, in my opinion. You got to have the state of mind that the open-mindedness that, maybe I'm 23 years old. I'm getting older. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be putting myself in this scenarios. I should have a more mature way of thinking. Now, I'll be up on the panel with y'all, and I'm not going to hold you. Like, I fuck around with you guys a lot because it's basketball talks, and basketball is like, it's really just a game to me. So I do a lot of messing around. But whenever I'm living my life, it's a complete 180, bro. I don't think the same. I try my best to invest in stocks now with the little bit of money that I have. If Ticket were to give me $40 million right now, majority of that money is probably going to go back to my family. I'm going to look to see what properties I can buy to try to flip that, what cars I can buy to try to flip that as well, and just keep my money growing. And that's just my state of mind. So the whole 23-year-old with John Morant, I get it where he is young, but at the same time, there's a lot of 23-year-olds that's maturing at that age. And I don't need you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to act as if I have everything figured out at the age of 23. 100%, I don't. There's still a lot of things that in my mindset that still needs to be changed. But things like flashing my gun, things like surrounding myself around good people, that's something that I've learned when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. And if you haven't learned that by now, I mean, come on, bro. Like, are you serious? Like, come on.
Dub, that's a fact. I agree with a lot of what you said. My thing is this. By making good business moves doesn't necessarily make you mature. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. Like,
I'm not talking about the business. I'm not. I only.
I'm talking more to everybody though. I think either way you spin it, because like you're definitely right. There's a lot of 23-year-olds in the NBA that are mature, that aren't doing a lot of the stuff Jaw's doing. So everybody's not the same. But I do think that 23 is young for a lot of people, to where they're gonna grow. He's gonna grow. He'll get more mature. And Dub, you might just be in an exception though.
I could be an exception because I see people my age and even people older than me still act like little ass kids, and I'd be like wanting to slap the hell out of them. But it is what it is. But my whole thing is, the premise of the maturity is you should know by the age of 23 and 24 years old who to surround yourself around, what not to do, what you should and shouldn't do to jeopardize yourself. Like, I don't even have as much as a market as John Morant, but even though I do live a kind of a wild life, I do sometimes in the back of my mind be like, you know what, I'm not going to be wild, because I do have a family back home that they do a lot of things in the background. I don't want to get too deep into it right now, but that they do a lot of things in the background that I don't want to get them caught up in because of my mistakes. You feel me? And I learned that I learned that when I actually got in an accident last year where, nah, bro, like, it's like what you do in life it affects a lot of people, bro. So you just got to be mindful of that, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, all right. Well, moving along, once again, want to send thoughts and prayers to Ja. Hopefully, things get better soon. We obviously don't know every single detail about what's going on in his life and just the situation, but just praying for the best. We need you to bounce back, Ja. We need you to get first team sometime, either next year, the year after that, or as soon as possible.
How he gonna get it if De'Aaron gonna get it?
Quick question.
Hey, all this is cool. We still, I see Ja going through some things, but I'm not.
It's two guards, big. Wait, it's two guards. It's not just one point guard. It's two guards, and now it's becoming now the All NBA team is positionless, so it's not about guards anymore. It's just the five best guys now.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, Ja, cool. First team all league. We with you, Ja.
Marz, though, quick question for you.
Just not at the expense of Fox. I can get
never. Okay, I don't care how many guns you flashing.
If the incident with Ja doesn't happen and he doesn't get suspended and whatever else, what team do you think he realistically gets on? If he continues to play the way he was playing, Memphis continues to win, and everything trends in the same direction.
First team was Luka and Shai, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Second team was Steph and Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell, yeah.
And then third team was De'Aaron Fox and
who am I thinking about the third guard? Buckets was on there.
Jimmy Butler was second. No, LeBron James.
Dame.
It was Dame. It was Dame. Dame was that third guy. That's correct.
I don't think he makes it.
Really? Marz, remember we were talking about him as a first team player earlier in the year.
Who? Not me.
Ja.
Yeah, who's we though?
Nah,
not me. I was.
You don't remember? You guys don't remember that was a thing?
We. I'm not applicable to we.
I'm talking about
my opinion.
The basketball community.
Winning bias.
So who does he make? I don't think he makes it over Dame. I don't think he makes it over De'Aaron Fox. I don't think he makes it over Steph or Donovan Mitchell or Shai or Luka. So I don't think he makes it.
You said Devin Booker?
Devin Booker didn't make it because he was hurt. I don't think he makes it. If you can tell me who he's going to make it over, that's fine. I'm just saying I don't think he would make it.
I don't think he was good.
I don't see how he makes it over Damian Lillard. So you'd have to say De'Aaron Fox, and I don't think he makes it over De'Aaron Fox.
I think that's the difference right there, because he didn't play as much and he got suspended those games. I think Damian Lillard would have to come off the all NBA team simply off the strength of, because I don't know if you know this, Marz, but winning does matter. in making
The
all
two first team guards missed the playoffs.
which is the first time.
So that means they're ignoring all precedent. They're ignoring it. They don't care about anything.
This is
The
an
NBA
anomaly.
praises losing. The NBA
Yeah,
praises
that's what they
losing.
do now.
This is the first time that's happened since, like I told you, since the decade that I was born. Every first team all league guard, his team made the playoffs.
Damn, since the 50s. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was actually born in the 70s.
So that works to Marz's point though. So especially this season where we're seeing a lot of guys not making the playoffs and being first team All NBA, that will help Marz's point because then they don't really care about the winning anymore. Damian Lillard being more efficient, being a great scorer in the regular season, and a great he was also a good passer as well.
Being a better player, just
being a better player as a whole. It's
Right.
just, I think a lot of people would just, I think even the voting system would say that he's All NBA first team.
I
All
personally
NBA.
think y'all tripping. I
So
think
who
he
did
makes
you
second
want?
team. I
Over
think he
who?
makes second team over Donovan Mitchell.
So Donovan Mitchell goes down to third.
Ja was averaging.
I think Donovan
26
Mitchell was
and
the first team all league.
Right. So Ron, then Donovan
would've been
Mitchell
in
was
my
the third team. So who doesn't make the
So
All-NBA
De'Aaron
team?
Fox is off the All NBA.
No. I think Dame comes off the list, honestly, and I think
Dame averaged 32.
I think there's some winning bias in there. I think Dame makes it or De'Aaron makes it over.
Well,
Dame.
wait
When
a
his
minute,
team
Dub.
wins.
Why is that ridiculous? I mean, Trey Young was 30 and 10, and he didn't make the All League team.
I'm
So
saying,
what are we
so-
talking about here? his team-
we can see
and
the
his-
difference.
Wait a minute, his team made the
Don't do that
playoffs.
now.
On top
keep
of
it
that, his
consistent.
team actually
He
made the
didn't-
playoffs.
He didn't shoot. I don't think he shot as well as Damian Lillard did this year.
Maybe he did. His efficiency wasn't that, but he was almost 30 and 10. I think he was second in the league in assists. I think he was in the top 10 in the league in scoring. So top five, no, not top five.
Did Ja make the All NBA last year over Trey
Yeah,
Young?
he made. I think Ja was second team last year.
Yeah, Trey Young
Yeah.
should have took that spot.
Ja was second team all NBA last year. So
They just diss Trey. Y'all
Maybe-
are nasty when it comes.
But
to
that's
Trey.
the thing. They were overrating Ja Morant because, in my opinion, I don't think Ja Morant should have been second team All NBA over Trey Young because Trey Young, with his guys being hurt, carrying that crew to the playoffs, I think that's more, and being a 29-9 guy, that's more of a testament to him being an All NBA over Ja Morant. So a lot of people, what happened is you guys were overrating Ja Morant 100% because he was on the Memphis Grizzlies and they were a winning team, and you just credited all of that to him. And now, since he's going through all these issues, now people are just on his case right now, mainly because he's just on everybody's bad case. And now they're seeing the player who he really is. He's not better than Trey Young. He wasn't better than Trey Young last year.
It's not about being better. It's not about being better though. It's about the way you're performing throughout the year. And,
Trey Young was
He performed worse this year than he did last year.
He did, but that
perform
doesn't
worse.
take away from comparing him to the way everybody else was performing. On top of that,
Dame
on top of that-
performed better than him.
on top of that, he did. But at the same time, you gotta compare scenarios too. Ja's the number 2 seed in the West. Dang, you're barely fighting to get into the playoffs.
He's
They're
he's on a
that's-
better
that's gonna
team
get
and
factored
playing.
in.
He's on a better team and playing worse. That actually hurts.
No,
Ja
he's no.
Ja's case.
Get last year out of your mind. It's
This year,
The team,
Ja
it's the teams
Morant-
for this year. He
Yeah.
averaged 26 and 8 and 5, and his team is the number 2
year-
team. in
This
the
year,
West.
Ja Morant is on a better team than Dame and playing worse.
Than he was last year.
No, worse
And
than
worse
Damian Lillard.
than Dame as well.
Worse than
What-
Damian Lillard is what I'm talking about. He's on a better team in the Grizzlies and playing worse than Damian Lillard.
Dame
That
played.
shouldn't make sense.
Dame played better than Donovan Mitchell. Why is he not above Donovan Mitchell?
I think
Lord,
Dame
did-
would be
he-
above.
Wait, played better
did-
how?
Dame
Wait,
played
what
better
do
than
you
Donovan
mean?
Mitchell.
What do you mean by played better?
I don't know if he.
Dub,
yeah.
I need you to explain a little more because you said he played better. How did he play better? In what way?
was a-
You
he
mean
was
just stat wise? He had a couple.
Not
more
even
points?
no. He was a better scorer. He's a more efficient scorer. I think passing wise is probably one and the same. So I'm not even going to debate that. Don't talk to me about defense with Ja Morant and Damian Lillard. So we're not even going to talk about that. I think he's just an overall better scorer, and he was more impactful to that Portland Trailblazers unit than Ja Morant.
I mean, he might impactful. I don't know.
And Dame only played 58 games this year. I'm checking it right now.
Okay.
Right.
And then Ja Morant played
61, I think.
He played
Right.
61.
And
So he
Steph
played
played
3 more
like
games.
55 or something. And he was
50,
second.
56.
Close enough.
Nobody was playing games this year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying Ja Morant deserves All NBA over Damian Lillard, considering that the 2 first-team guards didn't make the playoffs. Clearly, they weren't valuing how far your team went in terms of your All NBA standings.
I
So
hate that.
Damian Lillard not making the playoffs It doesn't matter when you look at the rest of the All NBA teams because of the fact that the 2 first-team guards both missed the playoffs and they were both on first team. So clearly, the record didn't matter.
Which I think. Go ahead, Big Ox.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, all the participation trophy kids are adults now, so you know.
Which I think is an anomaly.
you know how that goes.
I do. Which I think is an anomaly too, Marz, because when you're a first-team All-NBA performer, we put you in a different category. Like when you're a first-team All-NBA performer, you are one of the better guards in the game. You are one of the better forwards. You are one of the better forwards, and especially if you're doing it multiple years, you're one of the better forwards in the game. You're the best 5-man in the game if you're doing it multiple years. And we put you in a category with the best. So now when you talk about being a first-team All-NBA performer as a guard, that's Jordan, right? That's Bryant. That's Jason Kidd. That's great guards that we're talking about. But it also is synonymous with winning too. So if we're going to have this precedent where your team is a 10th or 11th place team, and now you're a first-team All-NBA performer, if we taking winning off the table, I think now what we're doing is we devaluing those other guys who were first-team All-NBA performers because they were winning. So either this is an anomaly or this is what it's going to be moving forward. And if this is what it's going to be moving forward, I think it devalues being a first-team All-NBA performer.
It's how it's been trending. Ever since Russell Westbrook won that MVP as the 6th seed, the value of the total wins your team has changed, and people have gone more with how impactful they think you are individually. Now, I think that's the fair way to rank players. But when you look at the precedent of these accolades, it goes against all the precedent. And I'm one who, when it comes to these accolades, if you're going to compare accolades, you have to stick to a certain precedent just to be consistent. Because you can't have, well, Luka was first team this many times, but then when you look at him being first team compared to other people being first team, they actually had to make the playoffs to be first team, whereas Luka didn't. So it's a bit fuzzy when you do the comparison. Now, for me, I don't care about these things, so I never use the accolades anyway. So it doesn't really bother me. But when you're going to use them, that precedent has to be there for it to be able to make a fair comparison. And if they're changing the precedent, which is what they've done in the last 5 years, you're going to have situations like this where it's going to be hard to compare Russell Westbrook's MVP to Magic Johnson's MVPs or Steph Curry's or Steve Nash or whoever you want to compare it to, because he wasn't held to the same standard. Same thing with Jokic MVP last year. He was a 6th seed. You gave it to him, and you're going to compare that MVP to what Shaq was doing in 2000? Are you going to compare that to what Hakeem did, what David Robinson did when they were leading their teams to high seeds? It's like you can't really compare that because they're being held to a different standard that didn't always apply, which is why I think they should have stuck with the precedent. But which
also goes back to my idea that that's an anomaly, because you just brought up Russell Westbrook in the 16-17 season. So that's that was 6 years when Joker won the league MVP as a 6th seed. So up until then, so the next year when James Harden wins it, his team's in first place. The next year when Giannis wins it, his team's in first place. The next year Giannis wins it again, his team's in first place. The next year in 21,
Jokic is the 3rd seed.
He was the 3rd seed, right? And then he was the 6th seed. But those two guys, in terms of both Russell Westbrook and Joker, those two guys were the 2 guys who won the league MVP that didn't host a playoff series since Jabbar in 75. So if we're talking about setting a precedent, right? If there's a difference between an anomaly and something being the norm. I think that what we're seeing with both Russell Westbrook and Joker, I think it's an anomaly because if you figure today, who won the league MVP? That'd be Joel Embiid. I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers, they had the 3rd best record in the East. I think they had the 3rd best record in the NBA.
But so Jokic was a number 1 seed. Jokic was a number 1 seed, averaging a damn near a triple-double. So if we're going to
had a better record than him, though.
Philly had
by like 2-3 wins, I think.
And we are going to stick to that, Dub. And the reason why we're going to stick to that, because who came in second in MVP votes? Joker. Yeah. So it wasn't like he wasn't right there. He was right there. He came in second. So this is the same logic that I'm talking about when I talk about being an All-NBA performer. I think this is an anomaly when it comes to guys like Luka and it comes to guys like Shai, because I've said this before, man. I got a difficult time with you telling me you're a first-team All-League performer and your team is in 10th place.
Chill. I gotta ask you this question though, because if we're talking about anomalies, clearly what Russell Westbrook did was a complete anomaly when he averaged that triple-double.
Yeah,
and got that MVP. We all can agree that was an exceptional season.
Correct.
Then when you fast forward to Jokic, when he got his MVP, his triple-double MVP, and they were the 6th seed, he had an exceptional season.
Yep.
But when we look at Luka and Shai, not to downplay what they did this year, but was that really an anomaly? Did they Did they just supersede everybody to earn that first team
No,
in losing situations?
I don't think so. I don't think that there was a stretch when I was having conversations about Donovan Mitchell being the best shooting guard in the league. That was a legit conversation about him being the best shooting guard in the league. So if that's true, and add that to the fact that Cleveland team, which was a play-in team last year, Donovan Mitchell gets on that crew. They're a top 5 seed in the East. They're one of the better offensive teams in the game. We all know Donovan Mitchell isn't a very good defensive player, but offensively, how much better he was and what that team did. I think he was averaging something like 29 a game, and because of that, they were winning. And that matters when you're talking about being a first-team All-NBA performer, which is why I thought Donovan Mitchell was a first-team All-NBA performer this season. So when I think about both Luka and I think about both Shai, I don't think that it was exceptional. I mean, okay, sure, Shai averaged 30 a game, but we could also say that I believe in the words of Shaq, a lot of that stuff was empty.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that way of thinking. I'm not a fan of just rewarding guys just because they're on a better team. Because if Shai and Dame, if they're doing this on a team that's a 5th seed, then we're not even having these conversations. But because they're on a far inferior teams than a lot of these other guys in the All-NBA, just rewarding guys just for being on a better team, I don't like that way of thinking. So I'm fine with the league changing the president to get the All-NBAs correctly, which is why, in my opinion, I don't like just using All-NBAs and MVP rankings because it's so situational and it's so determining on, like you said, the president on what they have at the time. Player voting before the 80s, that's why we can't compare the MVPs before then to MVPs now, because it's a different voting system that they have, because that was player voting and this one is media voting. We can't compare those at all. It's 2 different things. So that's why in terms of I'm just a big believer of not rewarding guys just because they're on better teams.
Well,
I think we can see how impactful a guy is on winning and them being on a winning scenario.
I can get with that. And to rebut that, Dub, the problem with that logic is, like my grandmother told me, anybody could train a secretary, but you can screw them up too. Just because I get on a better crew does not mean that I'm going to perform at that level. I mean, you just made the point about Ja was on a better team and he played worse this season because he was on a better team. So he should not have been rewarded.
Time out though. And I don't want to interrupt you, Chill, but his worst was 1 point worse. And
of course.
Assists went up. And his shooting percentages were down a bit. So his worst isn't necessarily.
Talking about worse than Dame, though. Worse than Dame.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. But we talking about he played worse than Dame. But when I get on a better crew, I still have to perform at that level. And not only perform at that level, I still got to perform at the level to uplift my crew, which is what Donovan Mitchell did. Now, don't get me wrong. That Oklahoma City team, I think they were dependent on Chet being healthy this season. But when I've seen guys who, for example, Kobe Bryant, when in 2005, 2006, take that crew to the playoffs and have them as a 6 seed, take that crew to the playoffs. That's warranted as not just an all NBA guard, because I want to make sure I'm clear. I do not think that both Luka and Shai are all league guards. I just think that guys like Kobe Bryant, when he took that team to the playoffs in 05, 06, that's first team all league guard. That's first team all league guard performance. I took my team to the playoffs with what I had. Now, if I was on a better team, which he was later on, he still was performing at that level.
Oh, damn.
Facts.
Still, when I think about
going in and out, you going in and out.
I think you're good now. You're good now.
You're good now.
Can you hear me now? So
yeah.
I just think that I care about being an all-NBA performer. I care about being an all-league defender. And I care about when you are at that level, when you perform like that when you're on a great team, you have to uplift your game and perform like that. It can't just be, I got on a better crew. I got to play my game too.
I do understand and get that way of thinking in terms of like ranking players. But I mean, now what we're doing, we're penalizing like Shai, for example, for something that a different player had. Kevin Love was over here balling on the Timberwolves, went to Cleveland, and he wasn't the same guy. So now we're penalizing for something that not what Shai did, but what Kevin Love did, because once he went to a better unit, he wasn't the same guy. In my opinion, if you're on a worse crew, if you're on a bad crew performing like that, performing at a high level, that holds a lot of stock with me. I hear the point where that's not always going to translate to a winning scenario 100%, but now we're going off of a hypothetical where we don't know what they're going to look in a better scenario. So I'm going to just go with the pure fact that you're on a worse team, you're balling like this on a worse team, and you shouldn't be balling like this, like that you're doing right now with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and you're going to get mad love for that. I 100%. That's my way of thinking in ranking these guys. I'm not going to look at just because Kevin Love looked worse in a better scenario, I'm going to penalize Shai for that. I can't do that because that's a hypothetical, and I don't know.
OKC is not a bad team, by the way. You keep calling them a bad team.
Marz, I would have to disagree. He made
No, they're
them.
not.
Here's the thing.
They're on the come up. They're on the come up.
It's no ifs, ands, or buts that Shai made them a better team. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, no, Marz.
Without him, without Shai, they're not even.
Exactly. Thank you.
Without Shai, we can't even think about them.
You're not. We don't care about them.
That's fine.
They Detroit.
If Shai's on that team, that team wins 12 games.
How many you said ticket?
12 to 15 games.
I don't even know. I think you're being generous, ticket. I don't even
So
know.
you think they're worse than Detroit?
Without Shai on that crew, I think they're garbage. I do.
Yeah, they were.
Detroit start Killian Hayes, just so you know, they start Killian Hayes.
They do.
And you think OKC would be worse than a team that starts Killian Hayes?
So if you start Killian Hayes when Cade Cunningham isn't there.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham wasn't there. Like what?
Okay,
What do you want me to say about that? He wasn't there.
So if Cade's there, how much better are they?
Like 27 wins.
Okay.
That's fine. But the OKC had Shai, first of all, but Detroit didn't have Cade. I'm talking about Detroit without Cade this year. OKC without Shai are not worse than Detroit without Cade.
No,
they're not 17 wins. That's impossible.
They're not worse.
Like, I don't want to be like, you guys don't watch OKC, but there's no way you watch OKC and believe they're worse than Detroit.
It's
yeah. I'm gonna walk. They weren't Detroit, man. I take that back. They weren't. They're not Detroit, because I've been in painful situations watching Detroit, and if you take Shai off that Oklahoma City team, they're not worse than Detroit. No.
Nah, but Marz, I do hear. Yeah, they're not terrible, but compared to like all these guys in the All NBA,
yes, I agree. But I'm just saying they're not a terrible team. Yes, Shai is clearly their most impactful player and their best player, but no way are they Detroit.
No.
You know how bad you have to be Detroit.
I told you already during the season, Marz, that I had painful times because you told me I had to watch Detroit, and I started watching them, and give me a break. I couldn't do it. So, hey, Ron, I got to bounce, brother.
All right.
Yep.
Take it light.
Yes, sir. I will see you dudes tomorrow.
Real town.
Yes, sir.
All right, Chitchat. See you in a minute.
All right, so I'm gonna run down these last few super chats, and we're gonna go ahead and do the damn thing. Drink More Water said, if Miami makes the finals and beats Denver,
We answered that one.
Yeah, okay. Angie Carr said, low out here using PDs on PC to the gulag.
Facts. He's the LeBron James of PC. PEDs, man.
Damn.
PEDs is funny as hell, actually.
Donovan Samuel said, I was going to comment on last night's game, but I boycotted the NBA last night. I needed to take a day off. I'm still mourning after my Lakers got swept. I can't believe we couldn't at least get one game.
It's okay,
you'll be okay, brother.
You'll be back next year with Kyrie.
Yo, Lakers don't need much to be contending for a title. I hope everyone knows that.
Yeah, just Kyrie.
The sun will come out tomorrow, my brother.
They do, dog. They actually do. You trust AD to make it through a whole nother season?
Oh, well, I mean, if you put that caveat, I mean, okay, I don't know. That's a crazy caveat.
Every year them dudes been hurt. Every year he been hurt, or LeBron been hurt, or you guessing that you think they can make it through to what they made it through this year.
Facts.
If healthy, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a bad caveat that you're cooked again.
That's cooked right there.
Yeah, you're cooked.
Next year he will be back and better.
He's gonna go into
that's a terrible picture.
Moving along, Oscar Proud Jr. said, "How do I pull up? Y'all not saying nothing."
You watch Open Gym, and then what you do is
Open Court.
Sure, and then we will send the link in the chat, and then you click it. That's it.
And Chill with Chills a little later at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. If you got so much smoke, Oscar Proud Jr., bring it to his front door.
The exact same process. You click the link when it gets sent in the chat. That's it.
Bring the ruckus, Oscar. Bring the ruckus.
AC Black said, we all know this about Lowe. You can't have some of these takes without just thinking stats. He said he watched games 6 times the other day. Cap.
Facts, man. Low without basketball reference, man. He don't know what he's talking about.
But the thing about it, though, is, like, Lowe, I don't believe that you'll be watching 6 games. I don't. But he did say, though, that he doesn't watch the full games. He'll watch the games twice, and then he'll watch the highlights.
What? He said he doesn't watch highlights.
No, he said he like when we were talking about Jamal Murray trolling, he said the way he was watching it was he was watching Jamal Murray's field goal attempts. That's what he was calling watching, like, Jamal Murray's game. That's what he was doing. So he wasn't just watching the full game 6 times. He said he watched it like twice and then watched Jamal Murray's field goal attempts like the other 4 times or whatever he was saying.
Yeah, I do that.
You believe that?
I don't care if he's lying.
It's easy to do that. You could go on NBA.com and just look at everyone's field goal attempts.
I wouldn't consider that watching the game, though.
That's not watching the game 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
L Dog 661 said, nasty narrative bending from you, Fluent. I'm both equally impressed and disgusted. Shaking my head.
Nah, he was cooking. Dub got cooked in that situation. Dub got cooked.
Fluent just be lying. I hope everyone knows. Oh my god. Because he just be lying, bro.
Salty that you were cooked.
And the way that you just flipped is crazy, Marz. Because you be the main guy. Oh, Fluent just says a lot of nonsense and nobody says anything. And what did you say today?
I said Fluent be tricking everyone. That's what I said.
And what did you say today? You ain't
that Fluent cooked you.
You're afraid of him.
Yeah, I'm 100% scared of Fluent. He swept you. That's terrible.
Yo, all right. We got one more super chat.
That was fan voting, man.
We got one more super chat. You guys are nasty. These are 2 nasty individuals, chat. These guys right here. Look at them.
Hey, y'all, you know what? Y'all can come together. Y'all come on the late night shift. I'll give y'all some counseling. You know what I'm saying? We'll work this out.
There's nothing to work out. Dub got cooked. He just can't accept it. I mean,
I did not get cooked, bro.
It happens to everyone. It happens to everyone.
Liar, bro.
Except me. It happens to everyone.
Liar, bro. Y'all just be letting that man lie, and the way you co-sign that lie.
Super chat.
You're such a troll, bro.
Coach Clay TV says, sorry if y'all talked about this, but with Clay and Draymond being free agents next season, if you were the Golden State Warriors GM, which is most important to max Steph's prime window?
Draymond Green.
Yeah, probably Draymond. His defense is better.
Huh?
Yeah, we don't have time for the debate. No, the answer is Klay Thompson. Change your answer, Dub. Change your answer.
It's Draymond, bro.
Oh my god. See, Dub, you're about to get cooked again.
What?
See, look at when you get cooked again for the 5th time. That ain't my business. I tried to say
Oh my god. It don't matter. Like it doesn't matter whoever you pick. Either one is still, it doesn't matter. It's either Draymond or Clay. It don't matter, bro.
Nah, you just said Draymond the defense. I don't think that's even. I don't even think you can use that at this point.
Draymond's not a good defender anymore.
Nah, not the way he been getting torched, man.
Yeah, Dub, you're about to get cooked right now.
No, I'm not.
Nah, he didn't get cooked. I'm just keeping it 100, bro. That's all. We can't. Not the way he got stripped down. Can't do it. He got to earn that back. And then he's around here glazing LeBron James and stuff. I ain't got time for that, man. Come on, bro.
All right, y'all. Well, it was an amazing show today. As always, y'all know what time y'all going to get here at Players' Choice on the panel. We're going to be back at the same time tomorrow. Y'all know where to find us.
W host.